Welcome back to your Emotional Support Wrestling podcast with Maj and Emmy. I'm your host, Emmy, and this is my co host, Maj.
Howdy.
Sometimes you need emotional support for your emotional support combat sport, and that's where we've got you covered. So, um, lots has happened since the last time we recorded. So it's been what? Almost 3 months? Yeah,
Yeah,
roughly.
I think if but most maybe by the time this comes out, it will have been 3 months, because the last time we recorded was sometime in January, and I was out of the country in February, and then we just had some really bad days in March. So we're just getting back into it now.
Yeah. Oh, we should tell everyone if anybody cares. We got to meet each other for the first time in person in February.
We did! I
Yeah.
flew out to Galveston, Texas, because my company paid for a company cruise, and that's where our port was. So I coordinated where I was going to be staying. Emmy made the drive, and we got to meet.
Yeah. It was fun. I got to drive all across Houston. It was crazy because it
I
was
got
like
to be in Houston.
yeah, it was late at night and it was the first time I've ever like driven across a city by myself, like just me in the car. So that was some crazy shit that I did there. But I did it all because I wanted to see you.
Thank you. It was really, really great to meet you
Yeah.
in person.
Yes. And now we feel much more excited for our upcoming trip that may happen in Vegas with or without Double or Nothing.
I'm seriously hoping it's with Double or Nothing, but regardless, I am taking you to Vegas.
Yeah, it's happening. So, shall we get down to it?
Let's.
Okay. Um, so I wanted to start first off with some news. So we recorded in mid-January, so some things had already come out, but it was things that were not based on any conceivable facts that we knew of. But now that it's been about 2 months, maybe almost three, we can actually tell you some things that have happened. So, first off, news broke end of January that Vince McMahon and the WWE TKO group as a whole were sued in civil court by Janelle Grant, a former WWE employee. Vince McMahon stands accused of many horrible things that I won't get into, but they do involve sexual assault, harassment, manipulation, and sex trafficking to start with. It's important to note that there's several unnamed higher level officials implicated within the 67-page document. I'll get to that in a second. And the victim makes it very clear that she sees everyone in the company complicit in the abusive culture that has been allowed to manifest for decades. So, Mash, with what I've said so far, is there anything you'd like to say?
So I would like to say that number one, my mother was a defense attorney for roughly 20 years. She has passed some of that knowledge on to me. I used to work for a law firm as well. I went ahead and read all 67 pages of this affidavit, and I wanted to say that the lawsuit that Janelle provided has stacks and stacks of very concrete evidence, clear accusations, a very solid timeline, and a credible law practice that's working on it. So it is very, very likely that Janelle will win this case, considering it has come out she does not want to settle, which I can very much agree with. I'd like to see WWE go down for this. I'd like to see them lose instead of just giving out money and continuing on like they've done for roughly 50 years now. So it is very likely that we will see this case lead to good things coming from the bravery that she's displaying for this.
Yep. And above all, I just hope that like she actually um, gains some sort of, what's the word? There's a word I'm looking for.
Peace?
Peace, yeah, peace. Above all, it's peace. If it makes her life better to see them go down, well, good. Fuck them.
Fuck 'em.
Honestly. Um, so I didn't want to spend too much time on this, but if we have to, there's still a few things that I do want to say. Um, there are a lot more people out there in the wrestling space that will give better insight than I will, or provide way better care to the information than I ever could. I don't know about you, Mash, but I wanted to specifically shout out the Trish and Sarah wrestling podcast because they've done a really good job of reporting on the different things that people have found out, all the information that's been put out there. And I think they do a really good job of analyzing it and talking about it uh, from a perspective that I appreciate more than others, which is a female perspective, because that's one of the only things that we should really be thinking about here is, how much this affects women who watch wrestling and women who are a part of the wrestling industry and women in general, who tend to be uh, the most, I want to say, disenfranchised of the people who have to deal with this. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
And while we don't watch WWE at all, me and Madge like will catch something here and there, but we don't actually like watch the product like weekly like most people do, or others
Yep.
might.
We'll see things on the timeline or something like that, but we're not watchers, not avid.
Exactly. We still worry, and but we're more importantly hopeful that this will bring, you know, uh, change to the wrestling industry, significant change. We feel really sorry for the people that have been hurt in this, and we hope they get their justice. Vince McMahon, I hope you lose everything, asshole. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Hmm.
Should we talk about the Chris Jericho thing? Because I feel like somebody might say something. Yes or no?
I mean, sure. I mean, they're the 2 things I know people probably not people who are, like, actual listeners of ours, but people have tried to, I suppose, conflate these 2 things together to as an attempt at a gotcha with AEW fans, and it's like, not only are these 2 things not comparable, one has concrete, like, broken law evidence and is being brought to court and is suing a multi-billion dollar company successfully based on something that has been going on for years versus what can only be described as Twitter beef. So,
Yeah.
the reason we didn't bring up Chris Jericho is because they're just not comparable, and one was brought upon by a social media grifter who is simply angry at a wrestler because they were not as kind to another wrestler that this person is a giant mark for as they would have liked.
Yeah. So bottom line, um, fuck WWE, fuck Vince McMahon, fuck Nick Hausman, fuck CM Punk, and fuck Chris Jericho because I don't care about him much anyway. So yeah, do you do you agree?
Of course, I agree. I always agree.
Perfect. So on to the wrestling in hand. Um, the world title scene. So the last recording of this podcast was right before the Daily's Place Homecoming episode. So Samoa Joe cut a promo saying that with rankings back into play, there would be no longer just be random matchups. Haven't seen the rankings in a while, so we'll see if that continues. But every contender would have to send in their resume and be subject to AEW World Championship Committee for approval, is what he said.
Fancy.
Fancy, very fancy. So Q Swerve just immediately ignoring that and coming out to tell him he was gonna take his title. Oh my god, he's so funny.
Yeah.
And then we Q Hangman showing up just to tell Swerve that he's had some time to think about things and how he used to be a world champion, and that now maybe it was time to get back into the game, especially if it meant he could keep Swerve from it. So there was a lot of kissing pose, just right in each other's faces. Swerve was mad as hell. Oh my god, the facial expressions on him during that was so good. What do you think? Yes.
I think well, number 1, I think they should have kissed, but that's just me. And then I'm just a giant fan of Swerve's facial acting. Like, he's very good at using his eyes, he's very good at pulling a face. He's just he's just so good. He's so good at this. He makes this he him and Hangman, oh my god. I'm g I'm kissing whoever thought to put these 2 together on the mouth. If it was those
Will
2,
Washington.
even better.
It was Will Washington.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was Will
Well, I already
Washington.
said it, I can't take it back now.
Yeah. So he makes himself like very like available seen whenever he's like at shows and stuff. Like people find him and they go and say
Yeah,
hello. So,
up at my Dynamite, I saw him sitting front row.
well, next time is your chance. Okay?
Fuck myself with that one.
So Hook would come out with his brand new bat signal and challenge Joe for I don't know if it was the next week or not. Yes, it was very cool.
Yeah, I remember it being the next week because I was, like, feeling restored.
Hell yeah. So before the next Dynamite, Hangman would have a match with JD Drake on Collision in Virginia, and that shit was an absolute banger. I watched it again, like as I was making the outline for this episode, and I was like, Jesus Christ, they're both so good.
Yeah, JD Drake is pretty underrated. I'd only seen clips of the match because I'm hanging on to my vendetta against Collision for no reason other than being stubborn. So I have not watched the match. But as always, Hangman is a showstopper, and JD Drake was a great opponent for a choice. A
Hmm.
great choice for an opponent. Sorry, let me say that correctly.
Yes. Side note to this weekend that he was on Collision, Jack Perry returned at New Japan Strong the same weekend. And so having Hangman in his first ever match on Collision and Jack Perry returning to wrestling was a fucking win. It was a fucking
Real
win.
Glass fucking lives. Do you hear me? Real Glass lives. I remember when this happened this weekend, that weekend that had happened, because I remember I was watching, I wanna say it was Kansas City versus Miami. It was that or the Bills. I was watching that game, and then I went to go take a shower, and I come back on Twitter, and the whole timeline is just Jack Perry, and I'm like, "What happened? What happened?"
I think I remember that you were like, I go to shower for 30 minutes or something.
Yeah, and my showers are 30 minutes.
So are mine, it's fine. Yes. So the next week, Hangman and Swerve both cut promos in the back with Renee. Swerve said that Hangman could fight God himself and win, but he couldn't beat Swerve.
What a subtle way to have a god complex and be gay.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
That's
God damn it,
just
Swerve. I love you.
that's that's like that is like if you wanted to be a gay person who is like, "I could smite God and enjoy it," and you wanted to sum it all up in one sentence, there you go. That's your blueprint.
That's it right there. So Hangman's interview with Renee is he starts with saying that not another soul on this planet has ever cared about the AEW World Championship more than he has, who treated it with reverence. And the way he said this, it's like he almost growled that word. It was so emphasized. And I was like, why are you gay for this title belt?
Sir, sir, why are you trying to fuck the title?
I'm convinced now that if Hangman was still openly visible on Twitter and Instagram the way he used to be, he would have already taken a picture with the title belt around his waist naked. Like, what do you think?
Oh,
I
yeah.
think so.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I definitely think so. Um
And that g and guess what? Home screen, immediately.
desktop screensaver, iPhone background, everything, just everything.
Yeah. Print it out, put it above the bed.
You know how Becky just came out with her book and she's got the picture of her and Seth both wearing their respective titles back when they were both champs?
Mhm.
Yeah. So people have like there's some people who've been like absolutely appalled that they would do that, right? And then other people that were like Sammy did it too. And then there's other people that are like, "Yeah, I fucking hated it when Sammy did it too. I wanted him to fucking die," you know? But like I've just kept quiet throughout this entire ordeal on Twitter because I'm like I'm not going to say anything because if it was Hangman.
What I will say is, I don't know why anybody is surprised. This is Seth Rollins we're talking about. We all remember 2015.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That image is that's in my brain forever.
I have not seen it and I don't want to. So, yeah. That's for Becky's eyes only. Anyway, so
Mhm.
Hangman continues with saying that in hindsight, he realized back then he wanted to win it. That was all he cared about. But now, he says, quote, not only do I want to win it, but I will hold it. Which is, I think, a perfect way to mix real life with kayfabe, because we all know it wasn't his call to lose it, but to put it that way is like really good for his character development, you know?
I think so.
Yeah, so he says, this time I will hold it, I will make it mine, I will put my name on it, and I will keep it there for as long as I can. Which, yeah, this man has definitely taken a selfie with the naked with the belt. I think so. I
You know
think he
what?
has.
I hope that
I'm gonna start this rumor.
the way I want him to take a picture with the belt, do you remember that one photo of him with his boots on the hotel bed?
Yes,
Take it just like that, boots stay on.
yes, yes. Boots stay on, belt perfectly like in the way
Um,
of, you know, something we don't need to
like,
see. That's a
who's
lie.
we?
But
Hey man, wait
anyway,
a second.
anyway, we started this podcast talking about
You know, that's a good point.
so let's not go there. Yeah. So he continues on after saying that he would make the belt his. That Swerve seems to think about him a lot, but he said, "quote I don't think about Swerve at all," which is just a meme king.
Sometimes you forget that Hangman is a very, very young millennial, And he does in fact know about memes, and he is quite good at them.
He is. He's quite good at them, as in the next weeks we will see for sure. So he says, but if he doesn't think I can beat him, I would tell you that it doesn't matter because you are not the world champion. Samoa Joe is. And that made me think a lot about something that I heard Rich Latta say on One Nation Radio, like a week or two maybe before Revolution, where he was like, "What if Hangman laid down for Joe?" Just so Swerve doesn't win the title. And let me tell you, that shit made me fucking insane when I heard it. And not in like the no, he shouldn't do this, but in the he should definitely do this and it's going to break me kind of way.
I absolutely agree. It's kind of like, and we'll get into this in like 10 minutes or so, but it was like when you sent me that text when I was at Dynamite and you were like, I need to make sure Madge is okay with this. Because my Dynamite had Swerve versus Hangman 3 because I deserve everything in this world. And
Hmm.
you were like, this is the finish I think is going to happen. And I was like, I'll take it. I will take it. It'll make me insane, and I know what it'll lead to, so I'm fine with it.
Yes. So the very end of his promo here was him saying God be with you. And very I enjoyed it because it, you know, kind of connected his promo and Swerve's promo from earlier where Swerve was talking about fighting God and Hangman ends his with like God be with you. Except he was talking specifically to Hook because Hook was going to have his match with Joe at the end of this night. Did I write down what happened? No, I didn't. So Hook had a banger match with Joe.
Hook had
It
a
was very
match
good.
that made me want to run straight through a wall.
Yeah,
Best thing I'd seen in a long time. Great wrestling.
it really says something when I don't look at my phone for the whole match. And I did not look at my phone for the whole match. That shit was awesome. And like
Too good.
you really honestly thought at some point that maybe just maybe Hook would pull one out and win the big one. Like they had you in their clutches. I really really thought maybe he might win it, even though at the beginning I was like, nope, not gonna happen. Hook ain't winning. And then toward the end it's like, no, he should win. And actually, I want him to win. And actually, he might stand a chance. Oh my god. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
It was
it's
really
like
good.
the match was so good. It's like you briefly forget for a minute that this is all predetermined, and you're like, he's actually gonna fight his way into winning.
Yeah. Like real David
It's
Goliath kind of stuff right here. Very good.
absolutely. It's like I was so caught up in the euphoria of a fantastically crafted wrestling match. I briefly lived in a world where wrestling was real.
Exactly. So the next week, which was January 24th, there was a match between uh, Penta El Cero Miedo, which I'm just gonna say Penta, with Joe ringside on commentary. Hangman. It was Hangman versus Penta. Also really good. They did a bunch of parallels or callbacks to when Hangman and Kenny tagged against Penta and Ray in December 2019. And then again in, was it February 19th, 2020? I only know the date because I was there. Um, where Penta took his glove off and he did the Cero Miedo in Hangman's face, and then Hangman hit him back with the cowboy shit with the gun up, his little signature pose. That was really fun. Uh, I was happy when I caught it, and everybody in my Discord group chat was like, "Oh, nice catch!" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I'm Hangman coded. I'll be watching that shit like blinders on, man. I got blinders
The
on. This
horse
is all the
blinders.
kind of all I remember is stuff that has to do with Hangman." Um,
That's so real.
yeah. And then so he wins the match, obviously. Um, then Swerve has a match with Jeff Hardy. I don't remember shit about this match. I'm just gonna be real with you. Um, I
All I
do remember.
remember is that
Go ahead.
Jeff showed up and showed out. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, because I think was he complaining at some point on Twitter?
That was Matt.
That was Matt. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
The
but
usual
yeah,
suspect.
yeah. Jeff Hardy ended up having a couple matches around this time. So hey, I guess your brother complaining works. So after Swerve's win against Jeff, Renee is backstage with Hangman, and Swerve comes in, and he asks Hangman if he saw that.
Gay boy.
That's why I paused. I was like, Mad's gonna say something.
I got something to say. And it's just calling a man gay.
Yeah. So this is where we get. I don't remember what happens much in this promo apart from that, but this is where we get the iconic "New Year, New Me, dumbass."
It was a pretty chaotic promo. It was a lot of just like yelling at each other, but like New Year, new me, dumbass definitely stands out.
Yeah, he's just meme worthy. I'm telling you, he's a walking meme. It's so good. So then Ray at the end of this, because it looks like I think they're yelling in each other's faces still, and then Renee is just like, guys, like, calm down. And so she announces that there's going to be a dealer's choice for the next week for Hangman and Swerve. So what does this entail? This means that Swerve gets to pick the opponent for Hangman's match, and Hangman gets to pick the opponent for Swerve's match for next week. So they're both having separate matches. And not only that, but they also get to pick the stipulation of the match.
Mhm.
Which doesn't get explained, I don't think, until the next week in the final match that happens of the night. But
Yes,
anyway.
because it was, um it was Hangman, right, who came through and said, "I also get to choose what kind of match it is," and then he just throws a fucking wrench at Swerve. Not
Mhm.
literally, because I just realized that's something that could actually happen. Um, he throws a wrench in Swerve's plans and then switches
Yes.
up on him and gives him a stipulation.
So the next week, which is January 31st, Hangman gets to battle Toa Leona, who, as we know, is part of the Mogul Embassy. This was really good, according to people who watched. I think I was working at the beginning of the show, so I missed most of it.
I did watch this match.
Mhm.
Hands down, Toa Leona's best match, but it was with Hangman, so what did we expect? It was really good.
Yes. Um, so then throughout the night of this match, because Hangman doesn't have his match immediately after Swerve does. No, sorry. Swerve doesn't have a match immediately after Hangman does. His ends up being the main event, right? So the whole night, you have commentary making these dumb weed jokes that supposedly were things that they quoted Hangman saying, like things that Hangman said. And it was like, I don't even know what he said. I do remember there was one where Excalibur was like, opponents like these don't grow on cannabis trees. That's the only
Oh
one I
my god.
remember.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ, that's awful.
But those were the kinds of jokes that were being made.
I wanna say one of them had something to do with, like, putting emphasis on, like, high flyer. I wanna say that was one
Probably.
of them, but I can't
Yeah.
remember for the life of me.
Yeah, probably. I don't put it past them at all.
Me neither.
So, if you haven't figured it out, or if you didn't watch and you're just listening to this as if you are being told a story with Emmy and Madge, um, the opponent ends up being Rob Van Dam.
The whole
And
effing
so
show.
a whole effing show. Yes, so that was another one of them where Hangman was like, "I guess you'll just have to wait the whole effing show." He said that on Collision.
Yeah,
He said that on Collision.
yeah,
Oh my god, yes, he said that on Collision, the 3 days before or something like that. 4 days before.
yeah. That was also I think honestly Swerve's and RVD's styles mesh well, like, they mesh together really well, so that was also a really good match. Um, Swerve and Hangman won their respective matches at that point in
Mhm,
time. So that kinda created the need for a bit of a tiebreaker, so to speak. Um,
mhm.
so because
Yes.
the rankings had come back into play, it was between Swerve and Hangman for being the top-rated wrestlers. Um, what did we what did we discuss about figuring out the rules?
So, wait, what rules?
Do you remember? Because we were both pretty
You talking
confused
about
as
the
to why
rankings?
the ranking rules, as to why they put together Hangman and Swerve. Because
Right.
I'm remembering we had a
So
conversation about this in the DMs.
right. So, I think what had happened was because everybody was confused in terms of, like, I think they said they were both number 1 contender, going into this match where they would tie break, right? Yes. So, I think up to this point, Hangman had 3 matches, or was it 2? And Jesus, where is it? I wrote it down, I feel like.
I wanna say it was Hangman, I think, had 2 wins, Swerve had 2 wins and a draw. So technically he was higher up in the rankings than Hangman, but they both had 2 wins. So they had to put them against each other to figure out who was going to be the actual number 1 contender.
The only thing I know for sure is that once Hangman and Swerve had have the draw, which happens in this next week, Hangman has one more win than Swerve. And that's why he is number 1 contender after the draw. Like he has 3 and Swerve has 2 or something like that. Or Hangman has 4 and Swerve has 3. Something like that. But Hangman has one more win than Swerve does. Because because he had one more match than Swerve did. Something like that.
That's right, because he had the match with JD Drake. So he had more
Yes.
matches than so he had the collision match and then Swerve only had dynamite matches. Okay, yep, got it.
Yes. Exactly. So like he was just above Swerve after the draw.
Yep.
Swerve had to win. Swerve had to win, and Hangman did not have to win. He just had to not lose.
That's it. Yep,
Yes.
yep, that's it.
Okay. So, since we've gone over that already, let's get into the actual week that happened. So, the next week is Hangman versus Swerve, Madge's version, Volume 2. So, go ahead.
Let me go ahead and tell you all how it feels to be God's favorite. So, February 7th, Dynamite at the Footprint Center, Phoenix, Arizona, my residency, we had Hangman versus Swerve 3. So I got to be in the crowd for Hangman versus Swerve 2, Texas Death. That is hands down the greatest match I've ever seen live and will probably be that way for a long, long time. But getting to see 2 and 3 live, my soul ascended twice. I rose above those arenas, floated to the rafters, watching 2 utter masterclasses in pro wrestling. There is no one who's doing it like my Adam and my Swerve. Nobody. So, in the actual match, Hangman and Swerve went to a 30-minute draw to open Dynamite. What is it with them in putting Hangman in the opening match, knowing it's going to exhaust me because he's the greatest wrestler alive?
Are you?
Why do they do that
That's
to me?
what I keep saying. Every single time. Every single
It's
time
like,
that they put Hangman early in the show, they're they're admitting to themselves that I'm no longer going to be paying attention to the rest of the fucking show.
right? It's like the 30 Rock meme. It's like, "What a week, huh? Lemon, it's Wednesday." It's like,
What a
what a
show,
Dynamite,
huh?"
huh? It's been 30 minutes.
Lemon, it's 7:30
Right?
for me.
It's like, you
Obviously,
can't
Central
keep
Time.
yeah. I was like there was a moment in time, there was, like, a lull in the Dynamite because there's always a lull in Dynamites. There's a lull in everything. There was a lull in Dynamite, and I was like, "I'm falling asleep a little bit because of all the adrenaline they just put me through in the first 30 minutes."
Emotional exhaustion hits big
Emotional
time.
exhaustion. Yeah. So, they just went ahead and tore the goddamn house down. We watched them fucking battle and beat each other in and out of the ring, through tables. Nana got hit with a fucking chair, and then just when Swerve was gonna pin Hangman, 1, 2, the bell fucking rings. Swerve is sitting in the corner. He's sitting in the corner. He is pouting. I turned to my mom. I literally turned to my mom. I'm laughing at him a little bit. I'm like, "You finna go cry in the car." Like, he was I have a picture on my phone. I think it's from, uh, who's the who's the photographer who works exclusively for AEW? Josh
JJ
starts
Williams?
with an no, it's a Josh L something.
I don't know.
I wanna say it's Josh Lead, but that's not right. Anyway, he took a really great picture of Swerve sitting in the corner, like, about to cry, and there's, like I remember in the match, I have video of it on my phone. Hangman no, no, no. No, yeah, Hangman gets thrown over the guardrail, into my section. I was a little higher up than the floor section area, so I didn't actually get to, like, reach my hand out and touch him or anything, um but, like, he gets thrown over, Swerve's beating him, he turns the tables, he throws Swerve back over. They did a callback to their original not original, to the Texas death match where Swerve is trying to pile drive Hangman on top of the padded guardrail, and Hangman counters it this time, and this is when he had dropped Swerve onto the guardrail, but then Hangman fell back and hit his head against the steps, not hard enough to concuss, just, like, bonked himself.
That scared the
Um,
shit out of me.
yeah, I didn't s of course, I didn't see that happen because 'cause I'm there live, but when I watched it back, I was like, "Oh, yeah, no wonder everyone was a little worried." But no, he got up, he was good. They had a few table spots because the arena was chanting for tables. I'm sure they already discussed it, but they wanted tables in the Phoenix area, so they brought out tables. And it was a very good classic, he who sets it up goes through it, um, which I literally will always enjoy. And I really loved Hangman going to get a chair because the thing about the Hangman Swerve feud is Swerve has been slowly and slowly driving Hangman closer and closer to not necessarily a heel turn, but to turn his back on morals and just get revenge. So at this point in time, Hangman was out grabbing a chair. He was prepared to hit Swerve. Nana went over and put himself in front of Swerve. So Hangman just rears that thing back and smacks the shit out of Nana with it. And
Oh my
from
god.
there,
So there's the one that he couldn't hit Cole with
yeah,
because he's only ever had a chance to hit somebody with a chair once, and it was with Cole.
yeah, you're right. Oh, you're right. So that
I
ties
fucking hate this
into
guy.
I oh, I love it so much. He's so
I
awful.
hate
He's so
I
awful.
hate this guy. Why is he like this?
I've had enough of this guy.
I've had enough of this dude. Emotional
Mm.
terrorist.
Okay.
Anyway,
Emotional terrorist. So after the bell rings and Swerve has not won, and neither has Hangman, Swerve goes on the mic and he essentially begs. He begs for just 5 more minutes.
he pulls the Adam
But
Cole.
Hangman sits there with his own mic, panting, laughing, saying, "You needed to beat me. You needed to win to face Samoa Joe. You didn't do it."
You
So
didn't do
Hangman
it.
rolls out of the ring. Hangman rolls out of the ring. He makes his way up the ramp. The arena is booing. I am screaming. I am so happy for my Hangman. And Tony Schiavone, bitch ass, gets on the mic. No, I'm kidding. We love Tony Schiavone. Tony gets on the mic and he says he is getting word from Tony Khan that because we did not get a winner tonight, Revolution is going to be a three-way match. When Emmy told me that the general consensus around this match is that it was going to be a 30-minute draw, I thought, oh, excellent. So it's just going to be a three-way at Revolution. Fantastic. I'm so down. And then we get the announcement. Once I heard Justin Roberts say 20 minutes has passed, I was like, 30-minute draw time. Then once he said 5 minutes remaining, he said 1 minute remaining. They did the 1, 2 bell rang count. I was like, oh my, here we go. Here we go. And then once Tony Schiavone stood up, I was like, oh my God, here we go. And then they announced the match, and oh my God, I could have fallen to my knees. I was in 6-inch heels, so that was not going to happen. But
Ever since ever since the Adam Cole match, actually probably before then, it was probably a different draw that I'm thinking about. Uh every time that a match goes over 20, I start paying attention to the time. Especially if everybody already thinks that it might end in a draw. I start paying attention. I do not stop. So, like, the entire time that those last 5 minutes of the match were happening, I was like, oh no. Oh no. Oh my fucking god. It's almost time. And I was looking at my clock because I can't help myself. As soon as you go over 20, I'm paying attention. And so I looked at the time and it said 34. 34 minutes. And it took them about 4 minutes to do their entrances, right? And I was like, oh my fucking god, it's happening. It's gonna happen right now. It's happening right now. And then they did the 1, 2, and I was like, oh my fucking god, the bell's gonna ring! And I was like, no! Oh my god, it's just, it's so good. They don't do it often, so it makes me really happy when they do a draw like that, and it actually just feels so good to see it happen.
I yeah. It's like they use the 30-minute draw. I don't think they've ever done it when it wasn't like an opportune when they haven't ever done it when it wasn't opportune and when it wasn't appropriate and when people wouldn't have benefited from it. They use the 30-minute draw perfectly. They
Oh my
use
god, it was
like the
Kenny and
way that
Brian.
they yeah,
That was the
they
first
really
one
set
that
the
I
standard with
remember.
it. That was the first
Mhm,
one they ever did because I remember the crowd pop when that happened because it had never happened before.
mhm.
So they set the standard with that match, which was also a perfect ending because you don't have Kenny Omega lose the title and you don't have the Dragon come to AEW and lose, but you
Mhm.
don't want it to be a count out, you don't want there to be interference. You want it to be as clean a match as possible because those 2 are the best wrestlers in the world.
Yep.
And then also for this match, the way because of course we have our Atom Squared invisible red string of fate. Um, Hangman did a lot of callbacks. Hangman and Swerve did a lot of callbacks to Max and Adam, their 30-minute
Mhm.
draw,
Yep.
all the way down to the begging for 5 more minutes and saying you needed to beat me to win this and you couldn't do it. And then Swerve being triumphant that he's still in the match for Revolution, Paige being irate. I'm
While
watching all of
singing
this
with
in
Max.
6-inch high heels. Oh my god. Perfect. Just perfect. Yeah.
He was
And
unhappy.
I wore those high heels for, I wanna say 10 hours.
That is insane.
It was 8 or 10 hours.
So what happens on the rest of the show? Something big happens too.
The rest of the show was quite good. Um, I really don't remember besides, I think, Mox and Claudio versus the CMLL Luchadors. My mother was a big fan of that match. She loved it. She loves the flippy shit. She loves Claudio. Um, that was an awesome match. Besides that one, I don't remember too much of it, because
Oh,
we
wait.
did Ring of Honor, um, Dynamite, and then Rampage, so those kinda blend together a little bit, so I'm a little
Do you
hazy.
wanna
Go ahead.
preface this? Do you wanna preface this with what happened at the end of the Daily's Place show? Because we didn't mention that.
Nah, I want it to be a surprise.
Okay.
Mm. So, it was announced, a few weeks ago at this point in time that Darby Allin and sorry, let me backtrack a little farther. It was announced in 2023 that Sting would be having his last match, at Revolution 2024 because Revolution 2024 was his first match with AEW, and he wanted it to Revolution 2020 was his first match with AEW, and he wanted it to be his last 4 years later. So, it was announced that Darby Allin and Sting would be going against Ricky Starks and Big Bill for the AEW Tag Team Championships. That was going to be the main event of my Dynamite, and that was, of course, a crazy match. I stole a piece of confetti because it fell into my bag, so I still have a piece of confetti from that match.
God.
And so, while Darby Allin and Sting are celebrating and Sting's fine-ass sons get in the ring to celebrate with him, like, seriously, they're so hot. They're so hot.
Both of them out here,
Yeah,
no shit.
those Bourdain children, man. So, while they're celebrating, 2 white-suited figures come running into the ring with baseball bats, and in a
Also
flurry
white.
of swinging and confetti and blood, I turn to my mother and I say, "It's the Young Bucks." It is Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, baby, and they are beating the shit out of Darby Allin and getting blood all over their pristine white suits, waistcoats, jackets buttoned up, no shirt. no notes. Those two those two returned at the Daly's Place Dynamite after taking off, I wanna say, a month and a half from, Full Gear, and they were absolutely in fucked facial hair, which they did not don for my Dynamite as they had shaved it all off. Thank God, honestly. I don't think I could have lived through seeing that live. So, they got all bloody for me and me only.
I believe it.
Yeah, and that was Dynamite February 7th.
Yes. So, we continue on with Valentine's Day Dynamite the next week. So, Samoa Joe cuts a promo about Hangman and Swerve going to a draw. He starts with, "They took a page out of the Texas playbook and made my match bigger and dumber." I popped. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm from Texas. I popped. I'm like, yeah, baby. Bigger and dumber.
You're absolutely right, sir.
Yep. So he says, "They may walk in, but I guarantee they will both limp out." God, he was just on one. So Swerve comes out. Swerve thinks Joe running his mouth more and more means it must be becoming personal. Which I thought was very interesting because CM Punk. But anyway, so he
Because it's
said,
just business, of course.
it's not personal to me. It's just business. Anyway, so he starts and he goes, you said." And somebody from the crowd goes, "What do you say?"
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Swerve. I know you were just trying to remember what you were supposed to say. But that was so funny. Like the energy in the ring and in the crowd, because it's a Texas show, obviously. Austin, what up? Like, it's
They bring
so
the noise.
energetic. They bring the noise. So, like, they treat it so intimately to the point where they feel like they can just like hassle hassle the wrestlers.
Mm.
So that shit always
Just
makes me
dogging
laugh.
these guys out.
Just dogging the fuck out of him for stuttering. So it was a really good promo though. Like, after he got past that little speed bump, considering how long it's been that he cut a promo, and the last ones like weren't nearly as good to me. The backstage ones were very good, but in terms of like being out in the ring and him talking, I didn't think the one from Daly's Place was as good as this one. Um,
I'd agree.
but you can tell that he's more confident on the mic. Like, if you look at the one that he did at the contract signing before Wrestle Dream, all the way to
Oh, yeah.
now, from how he started there to this promo right here, it was really good. Like, he's improved so much. He's gotten so much more confident. Um, but yeah, it was nice. I also really liked that when he when he did his little stutter and then the crowd laughed because of what the guy said. He like let that simmer for a bit. Like, he looked at the crowd. He was like, "Really?" It was cute. It was cute.
Yeah.
Like, he
Played
played
up
it
the
off.
crowd interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very cute. So much improved. Much improved from Swerve. Um. Then we get Hangman coming out here, no music. He just starts talking from the back. He said, "Hold
Mhm.
on, hold on." And
He
that
just
pop
comes strolling
it
out.
pops me. It pops me because of his drawl. Like he sound like
Yeah.
I hear his voice and I'm like, oh my god, you're such a country boy because he's like, hold on, like it's just so funny. Um, and he goes, after last week's match, I wasn't mad. Okay, I wasn't mad. So your weekly Dynamite reports don't say that I was mad. But we all know
Here
that
he
last
goes
what happened
again.
last week. What happened last week was horseshit. Yeah.
Mm,
Mr. Drill tweet over here. Don't say that I was mad.
yeah. Also, shout out
He's
to one of my Twitter followers. They had made that meme first, and then
yes.
Hangman went out and said the meme himself. And I'm like,
Was
I
it
follow
Yellow
the
Woho?
clairvoyant only.
I was like, Yellow Woho? Is that the Twitter user? I think so. I don't know their real name. I know their Twitter handle has yellow in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they made the joke like 4 days before it happened. And it's just like Apollo with the red ball, like
Getting hit with the
um
dodgeball of clairvoyance.
exactly. So Hangman gets in the ring talking about Swerve couldn't do it and pointing right in Swerve's chest. Like he is like sticking his finger in this man's chest saying, "You couldn't beat me." And you can
And the
see
titty.
Swerve. You can see Swerve swipe his hand away like a cat. Like, motherfucker, don't touch
I
me.
I hate them.
there's, they're such, they're so divorced.
I've had enough of these guys. They're
So
so oh my god.
they make me crazy. Like I don't know.
Insane. Insane.
Yeah. So his voice changes. Hangman's does when he looks at Joe, and he says, "The match should have been between two men that value and respect what the title stands for." And like he gets that same voice that he got when he said that he held the title with reverence. Like same tone from him. Like like this is how it should have happened. We should have been fighting one on one because we're honorable men who understand the value that this title actually holds. Unlike this motherfucker, like that's what he means, That's what he means. That's
Yeah,
what he means.
that's exactly
It's
what
like,
that's what he's saying.
yeah, that's what he's saying. But it's the way that he talks about the title like he's talking to a lover. It
Like,
makes me crazy.
he croons when he's talking about the belt. Like, it's sultry.
Like it's literally like my precious levels. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's Gollum levels of my precious. You can't take her from me. But
Yeah.
so then Hangman gets in Swerve's face and says, "I need you to look me in the eyes, and I need you to hear it, like what I'm about to say." And you can hear Swerve off of Hangman's mic because Swerve doesn't have a mic anymore. Say, "Are we gonna do this again? Are we gonna do this again?" Like he can't believe that Hangman is airing out their dirty laundry in public right now. Like, really?
They
Like,
really are, like, married and divorced twice. Like, good god.
it's so crazy. Um, so Hangman says, "After everything you've done to me, you don't deserve 1 second of my time. You don't deserve for me to give you 5 more minutes because you couldn't get the job done. And you do not deserve to be in this championship match." The
This is
way.
just you know what this sounds like to me?
What?
This sounds like alright. I thought about it for more than 2 seconds, and now I'm kinda going back on saying that out loud.
What is it? Tell me.
It's kind of like because
Say it.
Joe later on calls this a domestic dispute. I'm like, this is very much so I broke up with you because your dick is little and you couldn't make me finish. I mean, it's like it's not my fault they're acting like this. I'm just commenting on it.
Yeah, it's Joe too. Joe too. Like, how
Yep.
can anybody get mad at Joe calling them a walking domestic dispute when these motherfuckers are acting like a walking domestic dispute?
That's just what they're doing. He's just being for real.
So Swerve cuts in, and no, he starts to grin like really evilly because he's like, ha ha, ha, but you're still gonna have to deal with me in this match. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm
so
gonna
this
kill you.
is
I'm gonna take your title.
so this is when Joe cuts in and he says, "Hey, listen, this walking domestic dispute it ends tonight," which had me absolutely howling. He says, "You think you're gonna beat your man over there and skip over me? Not gonna happen. You think you're gonna pin him instead of me and take my championship? Not gonna happen. As far as both of y'all concerned, I'm Samoa Joe, and come Revolution, I'm whipping both y'all asses." And then he fucking drops the mic. Can we just talk about Samoa Joe for like a minute?
I would actually like to say you do a very good Samoa Joe. You do a very good impression.
Thank you.
I think
Thanks.
I genuinely think Samoa Joe is like the best talker of our generation. And he gets to do it like so little, mainly because of time he spends injured or he's out doing like a show or something. He gets to talk so much less than he should because when he talks flawlessly.
Mm-hmm. He really does.
It's
And I'd like to say that I think he's a lot like Hangman in the efficient promo. Like,
yes,
he says everything he needs to say, and he
he
says it
cuts to the quick.
like that. Yeah, he cuts to the quick. Exactly. Unlike some, which we still love, but needs to
Still
work
love,
on
still
that.
adore. Hope he's having a good day. Hope he's healing well.
Yes. We love you. We miss you. We'll miss you more if you stay away for a little while. Just keep healing. Just keep healing.
Please
We're
don't
doing
come back too
okay.
soon. I've had enough of that. I can't stomach it happening again. Just stay gone until you're ready.
Exactly. And maybe also watch a few Hangman promos and Samoa Joe promos and learn how to be more efficient on the mic so we can not have the problems that we had with you last year. Okay?
Just just wrap it up just a little bit faster. Just to cut it by about 5 minutes,
No, about 7.
maybe even
Cut
more.
it by about
Mm,
7.
I hate 7. We're going 8.
Okay, 8. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. I love 7. That's my number.
I hate the number 7. I don't know why. I think it's because it's so uneven and it's like it's an uneven number and it's like it makes 7 makes me uncomfortable. That makes no sense, but that's the way it is. Anyway.
Anyway, so before we continue on, I just want to point out that uh, the Valentine's Day uh, Dynamite was the 1 year anniversary of the time that I was ringside in Laredo, Texas, and Hangman saw my little cowboy you stole my heart sign, and he gave me a mean little kiss on TV after his match with Kip Sabian.
He blew you a kiss. We need to specify that.
He blew me a kiss. Yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
yeah, like
He
like
said
with
he gave
hand
you a
and
mean
everything.
little kiss, and I'm like, "Nope, we can't let that slide."
He blew me a mean little kiss. Okay?
Yes.
And I want to excuse the meanness because even though he had just won a match, he was very angry about the week before or Was it the week before? Where he did not win against Moxley and he was mad about it. Remember, they got in this
Oh,
little
yep.
whose dick is bigger than the others contest where they did the jumping jacks at the end of the show and BCC comes
Yep.
out and is like, yeah, and Claudio like kind of like lightly pushed him a little bit and he got mad and shit like that, you remember? Yeah, he was in a really
Yep.
bad mood. Okay? He was gearing up to the very end of his Hangman versus Moxley feud, and he was not happy. Okay? So I will excuse the fact that it was a mean little kiss because I knew that he wasn't angry at me. He was angry at Mox.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, February 21st. Big trios match
Mhm.
for Hangman, Hook, RVD, and Swerve, Joe, and Brian Cage. Do I remember why this match happened? No. Does it matter? No.
I
So,
was also out of the country during this Dynamite, so I'm afraid I don't have any commentary because I was in Mexico. I wasn't watching it.
that's fair. And
Yeah.
you know what? I don't remember much either, but I did make a lot of gifs of this match. So, um, we get a short promo beforehand, like halfway through the Dynamite, where Hangman is talking with Hook and RVD, and RVD starts bringing up like, I heard that Prince Nana's got something that I'm gonna let, and Hangman just cuts him off.
Mhm.
He starts talking about how it's important that both Hook that Hook um tries to get his lick back because he lost to Joe, that RVD has to get his lick back because he lost to Swerve, and that it's important that all three of them do whatever they can to make sure that Swerve goes down. And it's like, honey, oh my god. This is not supposed to be about Swerve. This is supposed to be about the champ. This is supposed to be about the title. What are you talking about? Anyway, he's very deranged.
Oh
And
yeah.
when they walk out for the trios match, you can see Hangman's lower third says not happy with this team and in general because because they can't say that he's mad. He can only be not happy. Um,
He wasn't mad,
so
okay? He wasn't mad.
don't say that he was mad. He's just unhappy. So he seems pretty keen on telling everybody what to do. The match itself was pretty fun. Lots of interactions between everyone that made me pretty insane. Um, Hangman was very, very coach on the sidelines. And by coach, I mean dad on the sidelines. Like, just telling people what to do, even though he's not the one in charge. And at some point, he like slaps Hook's shoulder to tag himself in. And it's just like, buddy, what are you doing? And then when Hangman and Swerve get in the ring together, there's a moment where they end up literally, literally rolling around on the mat, punching each other. And Hook has to come into the ring. Brian Cage comes into the ring, and they are both pulling both of these men off of each other. Little Hook is picking up Hangman, like trying to get him off of Swerve. And then, like, Hangman, who's like clearly in the middle of bloodlust or like something, I don't know, like
Regular lust.
turns to like turns
Mm.
to like snap at Hook, and Hook's like, "Hey man, hey, take it easy, like, just calm down." I'm like, I'm just trying to help you. Calm
Hey
down.
man, same team, same team.
It was very, very fun. Loved this trios tag. If you get a chance, you should go back and watch it. Um, Oh, and Joe is just enjoying the shit out of what he's watching. Like, he's barely in the match. He's literally giggling at everything that's going on. Like, that has to do with
That
Hangman and
sounds like
Swerve.
Joe.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Hangman, right towards the end, he gets picked up, and it looks like he's gonna be. It looks like he was in a fireman's carry or something, but he's on top of Brian Cage's shoulders. And I think what happens is he gets off somehow and rolls out of the ring. But when he rolls out of the ring, it looks like his foot collapses, one of his feet collapses, like his ankle like twists or something. And he ends up on the floor. I can't remember who gets the pin, but they lose. The baby faces lose. Um,
Hmm.
and then you see Hangman uh camera on him, and he's telling the cameraman, like, get off me, like, don't shoot me. So when a man says don't shoot me, it automatically puts you in this weird framework of what the fuck is going on. And the thing is that when he says don't shoot me, this all happened in the span of half a second, and the camera cuts away. So the camera doesn't stay on him. It keeps cutting to other people. You can barely see what's going on with him. So you then wonder why in the fuck everybody is so fucking worried about Hangman Page and what's wrong with his ankle. um, so for the next 2 days, Twitter is in an uproar because they want to know what's going on with Hangman Page. And someone ends up reporting, I think it was Dave Meltzer, ends up saying something like, he probably broke his ankle. And everyone takes it as gospel. So then for the next 10 hours, everybody's in a fucking uproar. And then Sean Ross Sapp reports that actually, no, he's just fine. And then it becomes a whole issue of what the fuck, why did Dave say that? Especially considering the fact that for the past 2 weeks, Dave Meltzer has been saying things that have been blatantly wrong about other stuff.
As he tends to do often, that people always forget the second he says something new.
But see, the thing is that it doesn't matter that Dave said something like that. What matters is that Hangman was shown just long enough on the TV, but also just short enough to where the people who know that wrestling is predetermined were not certain whether it was predetermined or very fucking real. So when somebody comes up and says something like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we still had surprises in wrestling? These are not the surprises that I'm talking about, sir. Okay? The surprises that we like are the ones where Okada shows up at a Dynamite and we don't know about it. Those are the kinds of surprises we like. We like good surprises. We don't like surprises where we're not certain if somebody's hurt or not. Okay? Those are the kinds of surprises that should be spoiled all the time. Those should be spoiled. I don't like those. I don't like work shoots. The fact that they tried to do that to me and it didn't work, you know what? Fuck you. I didn't like that. The person I'm most angry at, though, is fucking Hangman Page. You emotional terrorist motherfucker for doing that shit to me, okay? And the cameramen and the producers in the back who cut off of you the way that they did, okay? The way that they did. Where I wasn't certain, okay? My rant is
Yeah.
over.
Okay. Yeah, for
Sorry.
as said earlier, out of the country for this. So while I could, like, periodically just check Twitter, all I saw was Hangman might be injured, might be a work, might be a shoot. I hope he's okay. And I just logged right off because
You were like,
I
I
was
don't have the emotional
I'm
capacity to
on
deal with this right now.
vacation. It's like, yeah, like I'm on vacation right now. Um, he will either be fine or he won't. Once it's confirmed, I'll deal with it then. So I was like on the outside looking in, and I was just like barely getting any updates, really. So I was just kind of like, in hindsight, all of that was masterfully done to make you really question what was going on or what wasn't. Like, you describing, like, the cutaway, like, perfectly timing it, the way that that makes me know off the bat is that they practiced that, they got the timing down right. It was definitely predetermined because they needed to time it at just the amount of time so you can see him feel bad and then see him tell the cameras to cut, and then the cuts away and leaving Hangman off screen. So that was great. As just a person who is a big fan of really good production, like, I really love when they produce really great, like, scenes and imagery in wrestling, so I really appreciated that. Didn't appreciate them using it to do an injury little angle, considering the kinds of injuries this one little blonde has had.
Hmm. Yeah.
So,
See, here's the thing.
yeah.
Um, I, to me, as someone who like saw it with my own eyes as it was happening, at first I thought he was fine. To me, it did feel like, oh, this is part of the story because I saw him just long enough for me to go, okay, this is part of it. The only problem is that I also talk to other people. And I tend to respect the opinions of other people, especially when they watch more wrestling than I do and have watched it for longer than I have. So when people that I trust say, oh, that didn't look good, I start to worry because I trust their opinion of what just happened more than I trust mine. So that in and of itself was what really honestly prompted me to go, wait a second. Is he actually fine or is he hurt? But either way, it's like they should know better. Hangman Page is beloved by all. Okay? Don't do this shit no more. He's in that same school of Bryan Danielson, who's a fucking sicko and makes you think that he's hurt. And I'm just tired of it, okay? I'm tired of this Oscar award winning man, okay? I'm just tired of him. I'm tired.
It's like, this guy hung around Kenny Omega in his formative wrestling years, and it shows. It shows. Like, you make such a goddamn production out of getting hurt in ring so much to the point where it's like, yeah, that absolutely just could have just broken his ankle in the middle of the match. But he's so good at making it look like that that you don't know if he did it for real or not. 'Cause his for real and his fake look exactly the same. Like,
You
we
know what?
can't keep doing this, Hangy. We can't keep doing this.
I'm tired of this man.
I'm tired of this, grandpa.
I think that's gonna be the title for the episode. I'm tired of this man.
I've had enough of this guy.
I've had enough of this dude. Okay. So, the go home show, the one right before Revolution. Hangman comes out with one crutch, and the lower third reads, "Not looking good." So already I'm ready to get worked. It's like
Give me the show, man. Give me the show.
this
Put on the acting chops. Let's do it.
I'm like, let's see this guy try to trick me into saying that he's injured and he won't be in this match. Let me see it. Let me see him hit that crutch. Like, let me just see it all. I want to see it. I'm ready. I'm ready to see this absolute award-winning performance that he's about to put on right now. So, Hangman tells the audience that because he doesn't like to lie to us and always tells us the truth, that he will not be competing in the match. This brings out Swerve to be like, I prayed for this and it happened. I'm just kidding. He's actually like kind of like nice about it. Like he's not entirely a dick. Like he says he didn't exactly like never in his life did he actually want this to happen. And he, kind of actually has a level of respect for Hangman. And I'm just laughing my ass off. I'm going, he got you to express your feelings. Gay ass.
Gay boy.
So, as Swerve is pouring his heart out to old Hangy, Joe comes out. Sounds like the way that he's talking, what he's saying, it sounds like he's still expecting Hangman to be in the match. He says something like, and if it's one of you or if it's two of you, and I'm sitting there like, motherfucker, he just said he's not gonna be in the match. Why are you saying it that way? And so but he still calls both of them out, and this upsets Swerve. Like it upsets Swerve a lot, and so Swerve like starts like gets in Joe's direction. Joe is at the ramp, and Swerve is on the ropes, facing the ramp, and he reminds Joe why he is that man. So he brings up breaking and entering of Buddy Wayne's dojo and assaulting Nick Wayne. He
Beating a
then
child.
brings up, yeah, killing a child. He then brings up trespassing Hangman's home. But there's a slight hesitation in the way that he says it. Like, he literally goes, I trespassed in a man's home. Like, there is a pause, a significant pause, where he's debating whether or not he's actually going to say these words out loud. And then you can see Hangman, like immediately it cuts from Swerve to the hard cam shot of both of them in the ring, and Hangman just turns around. Like away from Swerve. Like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, why are you talking about this? And Swerve ends with, I will do anything to become the world champion, as he's saying this to Joe, right? And immediately as he says this, he gets a fucking crutch to the back of the neck for his troubles. Like,
Get fucked.
it's like, buddy, why did you bring up Hangman? Why did you bring up trespassing his home? Maybe, just maybe, if you hadn't said that shit, maybe you would have gotten out of there without a scratch. But the thing is, you said that right in front of the guy whose home you trespassed, and you expected him not to do something about it, even though when you actually trespassed in his home and you were thousands of miles away, there was nothing he could do about it. Did you really think he wasn't going to do anything about it this time? No, when you were right in front of him, reminding him of his failure? Come on.
Perhaps we should have hesitated a little longer. Thought about that one just a little bit longer. Because why would you say that in front of the dude whose home you broke into, who's holding a foreign object, who's got nothing left to lose? Like, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm. So then you get Hangman beating him again with the crutch. Swerve's on the floor. He's holding his neck. Hangman hits him a couple with his hands, and he says something like, "What did I tell you?" or "I told you, you will never have it." You know, it brings up that same callback, that same freaking callback to when he lost to CM Punk. The moments before he lost that title, just going, "This is mine. You will never have it." And then he like stands up triumphantly holding his crutch. He looks like a freak. It's crazy. It's awesome. And he looks at Joe and he's like he's like, I will be champion. I will be champion. It's just like, you know
He's so
that
insane at this point. Like, you
that
love it.
you know the ending shot of Breakfast Club with the guy holding his
Yeah.
fist up? He looks just like that, except he's holding a crutch.
Mhm. Bender if he was severely injured and had just beat somebody with a crutch.
But what were you saying? You said something.
I was?
Yeah, you were gonna say something, but then I interrupted.
I already don't remember. You're good.
Okay. So then we have the go home collision. Hangman gets ambushed by a camera guy, and he says he's sorry he lied to the people, but he did what he had to do. And like, homie is so deranged. Like, he is so deranged, but like, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Swerve also gives us an update, and he mentions how since he hung the hangman, it's only right that Hangman swerve, which teehee, he got that from me.
Hosted and credited.
Yeah, posted and credited. His real babyface turn was posting and crediting the artist.
Can't hate the guy now. He credits
I
artists.
can't.
Can't hate him.
Unfortunately, I can't. I can't hate him. Also, shout out to my friend Scorch the Ground on Twitter, who also got reposted, like actual fan art, not gifs. Um, uh, sh- they put a fan art of Swerve holding a chain, and then he ends up doing that a couple weeks later. It's awesome. Anyway, so now the main event, AEW Revolution. You want to talk about Revolution?
I will go
God,
ahead
my
and talk
voice
about
hurts.
Revolution. I want to start this off with I think Revolution has to be the most consistently amazing AEW pay-per-view since the beginning. Like I don't think there's been like a revolution where it's like half or all of that was just terrible. Like I think the like
2021.
I
It's the one where
which one was
Hangman
2021?
fights Matt Hardy in the big money match. It's the only one that's kinda iffy.
It's like I would say that one is like 75% good because I do remember watching that back. And I want because that was when the Bucks won that was when the Bucks won the tag titles and Kenny won the um what do you how am I forgetting this? He won the AEW championship.
No, he
I'm so
won the
stupid.
AEW
No, no, no.
championship.
He didn't win it then. He won the because he wanted it at Winter is Coming. My fault.
Yes. Yeah.
He won the
Barbed wire
exploding
death
ring
match?
death match. Yes. Which the entire match of that was good. They just fucked up the ending. I will die on that hill. It was a good match.
Yes, I agree with you. It was a good
Yes.
match. Yeah.
So yeah, this
Yeah.
revolution was
Mhm.
yeah, this revolution was better than 2021, of course, but just continuing on the wave of consistently great pay-per-view. So our main event, nope, sorry, was not the main event. The semi-main event, because the main event was Sting's last match. Thank you to the
Mhm.
Stinger.
Thank you, Sting.
Thank you, Sting. So we
Miss
had
you.
Hangman. Yeah.
I said
What was
miss
it?
you. I just said
Oh yeah,
miss
we're
you.
gonna miss him. We're gonna miss him. Yeah. So for the main Nia. Oh my God. Not the main event. Tripping over
It's
my
the main
words.
event to us. We're Hangman
It was
centric
the main
around here.
event and it was the main event at Emotional Support Wrestling's heart, okay?
Yes.
We had Hangman versus Swerve versus Samoa Joe. And it started out the way that we all expected this to start out, where it's got Hangman and Swerve team ups to get Joe out of the ring so they can just fight each other. Um, it had Samoa Joe coming in and just kind of brutalizing the two as the bigger man in the match. Um, and then it was like trading pinfalls and then like just kind of just like clawing, biting, scratching, just trying to win this match. But I think the real turning point that really turned the gas up for the match was when Swerve hit the double stomp to Samoa Joe's chest and then went for the pin. Hangman gets up because he's outside of the ring at this point. He gets up and he yanks the ref out of the ring. And then as the ref is yelling at Hangman, Hangman just rears back and socks him, just hits him. And he just keeps beating on him for a little while. And then, like, just in a complete and total Swerve cannot have this title fit of rage. And it's like from there, we just take it to the next level. It's like Hangman is off the leash now. It's like it's really Hangman versus Swerve on who can get the pin. Um, Joe is not irrelevant to the match, but it's like, okay, this is these two's ultimate grudge match now, which is kind of the
Hmm.
interpretation that I got from it, really. Um, so then, because of Hangman's actions against the ref in the match, Hangman takes, he goes over, he snatches the AEW championship. He takes it, lines it up, hits Swerve in the head twice, one hit for every time he hesitated before. Hits
Hmm.
Swerve, knocks him out, throws the title into the corner, and he goes to pin Swerve, but there's no ref. His own
Dumbass.
hubris did him in. New year, new me,
Self-proclaimed
dumbass.
dumbass. I'd also like to
Self-proclaimed
point out
dumbass.
that that him pulling the ref out of the ring was another chapter in the pulling people out of the ring saga for Hangman Page. Just
Hmm.
legs pulling everywhere, starting from 2020.
Legs. This dude. Had enough of this guy.
Not enough of him.
Yep. So then we get Ref Bryce absolutely sprinting out to the ring, but there was too much time in between Swerve getting hit in the head and the pin and there being no ref that once Bryce gets there, Swerve can kick out at 2. So then Hangman rears up and he's in Ref Bryce's face. He's like, that was 3, that was 3, do your job, just count to 3. Ref Bryce is like, nope, nope, that was 2, that was 2. So Hangman just brutalizes Ref Bryce.
So
Just beats the shit out of this guy.
that moment reminds me so much of the fight for the fallen uh between the super was it the super elite and the dark
Yep.
order and Hangman, where like just this crazy amount of sequence happens and the crowd is so pumped and so hyped, and it looks like Kenny is finally going to put I think it was Hangman down, and I think Hangman kicks out, and Kenny
Yes.
immediately lunges off of Hangman and just starts like about to strangle the fuck out of, I think it was Rick Knox. I don't remember. It might have been Bryce too.
It was probably Rick
Um,
Knox.
but like immediately lunges off of the person he was pinning and just starts like holding the ref down, like shaking, throttling him by the neck. Like what the fuck are you doing? Like I have to win this match, you know? Like it was
Mhm.
giving those vibes. Like it was
Yeah.
so parallel. Like Hangman is literally turning into who Kenny used to be. Like
Yeah.
at his
I
peak villain.
I can't get enough of that parallel of Hangman being the one to break that curse inside of Kenny by beating him for the title just to turn around and become that person years down the road.
Uh-huh.
It's like, especially with Kenny not even being there, it's like he's filling that role.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of filling that role, Trish and Sarah from Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast, they said in one of their last the episode right after Revolution, they said that Hangman, like shoot Hangman, is one of the smartest people ever for like being smart enough to realize that there is a big role that needs to be taken care of in all elite wrestling, because for like the past couple of months people have been saying there's no pure villains in AEW. It's all a bunch of people who don't want to actually be the bad guy. They want to be loved and they want to be cheered and they want to be adored, even though they're supposed to be the bad guy. You know, so you don't have this concrete singles villain apart from Joe, but Joe's a babyface. Everybody cheers him. You know, like he's still,
It's
even though he's a,
Joe, man. Like, you're not
it's
gonna hate
Joe.
Joe.
It's Joe. You can't hate Joe. So
Yeah.
Hangman seeing that and knowing that this is the time to fulfill that role is actually so smart in keeping him relevant to these big main title scenes, you know? It's like
Yeah,
he's so
absolutely.
fucking smart. Oh my god, like this is the perfect time to turn. Because you got Swerve turning into a babyface, you got all these people who like are getting cheered even though they're kind of like in a tweener stage. So it's like they
Mhm.
need somebody to play off of.
Yep.
And he is like perfect for this
Yeah. It's
because
kind
he has
of,
just led himself down this path.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I've been kind of thinking this a little bit, um, because MJ of the Waffly Bollocks podcast routinely points out kind of like what you had said is there is no concrete villain because even Swerve, who was the villain for a little while, was too charismatic and got started getting cheers. And he's kind of starting to come around to like he was always meant to, I think. He's starting to kind of come around to kind of not becoming a better person, but realizing how bad the stuff he's done has been and
Mhm.
not just he's evolving as a character right now, and it's kind of bringing him towards more of a face into like, it's pushing him more into anti-hero than villain.
Mhm.
Anti-heroes are famously beloved characters, so he gets a lot of cheers now, and he gets all the chants, he gets all the Swerve's house, he gets all the buzz on social media for making him champion, so this is all kind of Maxwell and his consequences,
Yeah. Yeah.
which Hangman is looking to remedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then after Hangman absolutely rocks Ref Bryce's shit, who showed us a really nice black eye on Instagram post-match, we get
Gotta
Hangman
love that stiff worker Hangman.
you g learn from the best. So we get Swerve rolling out of the ring from being absolutely knocked unconscious. We get Hangman picking up the belt, and here he goes again, laying the same old curse. He's yelling at Swerve, "You will never have it. You will never have this.
This
This
is
is mine.
mine.
You will never have it." I I can't get enough of that. That's like his he really is Faye.
He really is looking at my blog,
He
is what he's doing. I'm telling you. I mean, it's not that
he
hard to
follows
find.
you.
AdamPage.tumblr.com. I mean, it's his fucking name.
If he's gonna look for anything, he just types it in and there you are.
Like I was like the first person to point it out. And the reason I pointed it out, one was because I was pissed off at CM Punk. So in like December of
Mm.
2022, 6 months later, I was like, hey, you remember when Hangman said this thing? And then Punk broke his ankle. And then
I also
he got into a
yeah,
fight.
go ahead.
And then he got suspended. Y'all remember that shit? Well, Hangman cursed his ass.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
when you made that GIF set and it was like, "Hey guys, do you remember when this happened?" And I was like, "No. What?"
No, nobody remembered. Nobody remembered. And like I had to bring it up and then I brought it up again like 8 months later on Twitter after like Punk got fired or something. And I was like, "Hey, y'all remember this? Y'all remember this?" And then I just got a whole
Yeah.
new era, like a whole new group of people going, "No, we don't remember that." And then literally 4 months after that is when so like a full calendar year after I posted the gift set, Hangman gets on TV and is talking about he will never have this. This is mine. Like December 2023. A literal
He
calendar
actually has
year.
to be following you.
I swear
He
to
has to
God,
be one of your
he's
followers.
doing something. He's paying attention to something that I'm doing. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Either that or I'm influencing people that can reach him in some way and he's just like finding it from there. Maybe he's not finding it on Tumblr, but I'm putting it out into the universe and somebody who is closer to him than I am in Kevin Bacon numbers like is definitely reaching out to him from like my plane of existence. You know what I'm saying?
You know who
Because
famously had a Tumblr who is close to Hangman?
no.
That's
Who?
Matthew Jackson.
No, he didn't.
He did,
No, he
yes, he
didn't.
did have a Tumblr. Yeah, he did.
What? Oh my god.
You didn't know that? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I should have left you in the dark. Oh, I apologize.
I
I'm s
thought he was just making for Tumblr jokes because he heard about it from somebody else. I didn't think he had one.
no, I'm sorry. It if it makes you feel any better, he hasn't posted anything since like 2015.
My fucking god. Brian Danielson hasn't either. He hasn't posted since 2011, I
That
think.
makes me feel a lot better.
He does have a blog. Brian Danielson has a Tumblr. I saw it. It still exists. It's
He
there.
seems
You
like the
can
type of person
literally,
who would.
yeah, and it's just like, welcome to Brian Danielson's vlog. And it's like 2 or 3 personal posts about wrestling. And then he never blogged
That's
again.
adorable.
It's adorable. You can find it. It's so cute.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. Anyway, I'm an influencer. It's just nobody knows who I am. I'm one of those. I do it for free. I don't get paid.
Yeah.
I'm an actual influencer. I'm what an influencer used to be. I'm a muse. I am a muse. I wish people could
Mm,
see my hands.
technically, Hangman is the muse, you are the artist.
No. We muse each other. Me and Hangman.
I'll
Did you
take that.
remember? Because you remember when somebody asked me what I saw in Hangman's future, what was next for Hangman in January of 2023, and I was like, "Well, I can't. in order to look forward, we have to look back. And then literally Renee asked him what's next for Hangman Page 3 days later, and he was like, well, you know, in order to look forward, I can't help but see back. And I was like, bitch, you stole that from me! He's looking at my block.
He probably is. He probably is. But it's a good blog to look at.
It's not. Don't go there. The cesspool. It's like 13 years of me. I haven't changed much. It's sad. It's my
That's the
home. It's
beauty of
my
Tumblr.
literal home. My home. That's why I'm
That's my
so.
house.
My own private domicile, and I will not be harassed. I did end up getting
Bitch.
harassed. I got harassed by punk fans, and then I left. Um, but
Yeah,
I'm
sorry
gonna
about
get
that.
I'm gonna get back there. It's fine. Um, I'm slowly getting back into it. I make a few posts here and there. You've seen it. Um, so go ahead and tell us the ending.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So then that's just the way this podcast goes. You're used to it by now, aren't you guys?
My bad.
So yeah, after Hangman lays his curse, we get Joe back in the match now. He takes out Swerve. So then Hangman tries to then capitalize on Joe being alone and take him out. He fails. He quickly gets locked in the coquina clutch. And as Swerve is starting to slowly climb back into the ring, he notices that Hangman is in a losing position. He quickly scurries into the ring. Hangman is making eye contact with Swerve, and he taps out to Joe.
Does he? See,
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
it's
I
because the
really don't.
camera was. They chose a camera angle that didn't show it, but Hangman doesn't go out, he taps. Because they had. So you know how they have the ring, they have the hard cam area. If you were looking at the hard cam, they had the camera that was to the left, looking in that way. But Joe and Hangman were facing the hard cam. So it was kind of like they had it on Joe's shoulder.
Okay. So, why do you think they chose that camera angle? Do you think it's because they want to leave it kind of like ambivalent
I
so
honest to
that
God think they just fucked up.
see, I think it might have been on purpose because the, the week after Revolution, some stuff in that video package makes me think that Hangman may or may not return not a heel or leading in back into a redemption angle that might have to do with some tag belts and Kenny Omega. So I want to think that they want to leave it open to interpretation so that Hangman can easily walk out of the decision that he made in tapping out and being a dick about it. So that we don't
That would be
actually,
very nice.
so like we never really saw his reaction and we never really saw what happened between him and Swerve in that moment. You know what I'm saying?
I do. And I think that would be really nice. Um, I don't have that level of optimism on multiple accounts,
Fair
but
enough.
that would be really nice.
Mm. Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, so that is the ending to our main title scene leading up to Revolution.
You want to talk about the actual main event?
Um, I will definitely talk about the real glass of it all.
Okay.
It was honestly, that was a very, very beautiful tribute match to Sting's career and a very good way to end it all. So we had like this the beginning before the match, they had Sting in like a vintage movie theater and they showed clips of his career from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s. Sorry,
They
not the
even had
70s, I don't know why I said that. The
they even
80s,
had All
90s,
Japan footage.
2000s. Sorry?
They even had that, the Japanese wrestling footage too.
Oh, yep, him against, Great Muta.
No,
So
it
they
was,
showed all
like,
of that
old.
footage. Yeah, it was good. It was so good. It was a very well produced, is what I'll say. And then
Yeah, I
it was
cried.
just kinda Sting staring at a black screen for a little bit there, and then he just looks into the camera and he goes, "It's showtime." And then his music hits, and then his entrance as well was awesome because his previously mentioned fine-ass sons entered in as Surfer Sting, entered in as Wolfpack Sting, and then we enter in 2024 Sting. And then I wanna say I think Darby had already come out at this point in time. Either that or he came out after. No, he had come out
Oh,
first.
yeah, he came out first because they had to give Sting his big last entrance.
Yep. So then he gets to the ring. The ring is all I can't remember if they had decorated it with all the deathmatch stuff first or if that had gradually all come out. Pretty much all I remember was Sting's entrance, which is really all you need to remember because this is about Sting.
True.
Um, and it's just from the get-go, it is a whirlwind match. It's between Matthew and Nicholas Jackson in their waistcoat and kind of
Okada
slacks.
robes!
Their Okada robes with their names on them because a certain someone might try and steal their clothes again. So then it's just it's a bunch of back and forth. It is ladders, it is tables, it is Sting's sons doing stinger splashes. They look great out there. Um, and then we
Yes,
get
they do.
to the spot of the night. They led up to this by bringing out a pane of glass, holding it up against the ring and holding on to like they propped it up against the ring. Sting kinda acted like he was about to hit Nick with the baseball bat. He misses Nick because he rolls out of the way, and he hits the glass, and it just shatters, and the sound of it is amazing. Um, and then they set up, uh, Darby and one of Sting's sons set up another pane of glass held up between, a row of chairs on each side. They set up a one of the 20-foot ladders. Then
Absolutely insane.
somebody was supposed to yeah, somebody was supposed to be going through that glass, and I think we all know who it was. So, it was Matt or Nick. They got out of the way after Darby had climbed up that ladder and was about to swanton off of it. They get out of the way, he goes down, he's through the glass, crowd's roaring, he's bleeding. They immediately get him out of there afterwards.
Dude, every it was just dots of red on his back
You just
that
saw it well
turned
up,
into
like he got
lines.
yep, just
The
welling up and all these
streaks.
little just so much blood. I loved it.
It was awesome,
Mhm, that's the shit I came to see.
honestly. Um,
Yep.
can I tell a little story about this match?
Mhm.
So so my ex-husband's mother was a huge Sting fan in her day. And literally since they announced his retirement match, I was thinking about her the whole time because I'm not like a crazy Sting fan. I didn't watch wrestling when I was young, right? So like there's no way I would know like the extent of his um his legacy in wrestling, like me personally. So the week before Revolution, I started talking to her, and because we're on good terms now. Um, and I said, "Hey, has anybody told you that Sting's match is he's having his last match on Sunday?" She was like, "Yeah, yeah, I know about it. I heard about it." And I was like, "Well, you should totally watch it."
Mm.
And like I started telling her where she can watch it, how she can watch it, stuff like that. But see, the thing is, she's not very technologically savvy, so I figured that when the day came, I would end up having to like talk her through it. So I texted her like an hour before the show, and I was like, "Hey, did you guys figure out how to set up the TV?" And she was like, "No, we don't know how to do it. Well, I'm probably not gonna watch." And I was like, "No, no, 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 no." So I spent the entire first hour of Revolution watching and texting my ex mother in law how to get into my Bleacher Report. So I paid another $50 on top of the 20 I spent on Fight because I switched over to Fight in January so I could watch everything and pay a little less money. But because my not technologically savvy ex-mother-in-law was in no way going to be able to know how to download a VPN and do all that shit. I was like, "Fine. Let me pay for this pay-per-view." So I put down the $50 and I was like, "Please watch this match. Here's my username. Here's my login. Here's how you can Chromecast to your TV." And just step by step. And she watched it and she was texting me the whole time. And she said, "Oh my gosh, I'm crying." And she said it was a crazy match and she really enjoyed it. And she said, "Thank you for sharing this with me." And I was like, "I'm gonna fucking cry. This is so good. I'm so happy that you got to experience this and that I was there in some way to help you. You know? It's just so
That's very
nice.
sweet.
It's so nice. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
adorable.
Yeah.
I
So
love
yeah,
that.
very emotional. Um, very emotional Sting's retirement for everybody, even people that you wouldn't expect. Like
Hmm.
she hasn't watched wrestling in years, like literal decades. She hasn't watched wrestling, but I'm
Yeah,
really happy that she got to see that his last match.
yeah. I think it was during his last speech because I immediately like ran to YouTube once it was over because the
Right?
broadcast
Yeah.
was not long enough for the speech to be
Yeah. It cut
on the
off.
actual pay-per-view. Like I knew immediately once he was done talking they were gonna have it on YouTube. Um, so I like ran over to YouTube and I watched the whole thing. I think that was what made me like actually because I didn't cry. I don't think I cried during the opening promo. I definitely didn't cry during the match because I was having too much fun. And then I think I cried when he was talking about like his actual legacy and him thanking people and him just saying thank you to the fans for caring about him for 4 decades. It was yeah, it's like it's the good kind of emotion that you love out of a match, that you just love wrestling for.
And you know what? I'm just happy that you know how people like get upset when things are predictable. This is one of
Mhm.
those occasions where things that are predictable are good.
Yeah.
It's like we all knew pretty much how this match was going to go. We knew there was going to be crazy Darby spots. We knew that Sting was going to get his stuff in. When we saw the kids, obviously you knew something was going to go on with them. But like it was just really it was a good way to end the show and I'm glad they did. I don't know what the heck was going on earlier where they were saying that it wasn't the main event, but um
I was
it was
wondering who
just
was the person who said that?
Renee.
Was that on, like uh,
Renee said it like
I guess he
twice
hadn't
during,
decided yet.
which is stupid. Like, what do you mean you haven't
I guess
decided?
I don't know, cause that I guess it would've, like it takes logistics to figure out that stuff, like timing,
Yeah, probably.
spots, like, the wishes of, like, different wrestlers, cause Sting might not have wanted to be the main event or something like that. Cause like,
Mhm.
Sting's old school, I'm sure he probably thought,
The world
um,
title should go on last.
like yeah, world title goes on last and things like that, like, "No, Sting, this is your last match, you're going on last, like, accept it. Accept that you're
Yeah,
the icon, please."
I'm just really happy that the Young Bucks politic to lose, and they won. They won.
The
They won
old
this
Bryan
politicking
Danielson method.
round. Yeah. I wanna hear no more shit about the Bucks, okay? I
I'm
wanna hear
so
no more
sorry, but
shit.
you are going to. They are
I
relentless.
Look, man, it came from Sting's own mouth, okay? He wanted to go out on his back, and everybody else was like, "No." I'm going out.
Absolutely not, sir.
I'm losing, okay? I'm losing. No, I'm losing. No, me. I'm losing. Don't you
I
just
would've
love All Friends Wrestling?
loved yes.
Don't you just
I
love
like
men that are like, "I will job for you."
it's like they're on their like, they're begging on their hands and knees, "Bro, please let me lose to you.
Please, please, I beg you.
Bro, please, bro."
I love it. I love it. Mm.
It's so much fun. Yeah. So, yeah, that was Sting's last match. I'm definitely going to miss him, but I'm glad I got to see him live so many times.
I think I saw one live Sting match, and it was at Homecoming in 2021. It was the same night that Malachi and Cody went up against each other.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Yep, I remember that Daily's Place match.
yeah, that was when Hangman got kicked out of the Elite again, even though he wasn't even in it. When Kenny was like, "I'm sure you want to come back to the Elite, but I'm just here
No,
to
that
let you
is
know."
the last thing I came out here to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a time, huh?
Oh
Oh,
my
yeah,
god,
because
so good.
I missed that match because I was dry heaving. Not match, I missed that promo because I was dry heaving.
Yeah, I think Sting was there at that show, and I think I saw. Did he fight with Mox and Eddie? I know Mox and Eddie had a tag match.
Oh, yeah, yep. Yeah, he was with Mox and Eddie. Um, I can't remember who their opponents were, but it was definitely I wanna say it involved Rick I think it involved Team Taz because they had been feuding with Darby because
Probably.
Ricky had been feuding with Darby, and then by proxy with Sting as well.
Probably something like that. So I did get to see Sting wrestle once.
Yeah,
But and then I got to see him cut the promo where he said he was retiring because he decided to do that in Texas. Um,
nice.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I got to
I
see him
got
cut
to
a
see
promo, I got to see
Sting
him wrestle.
mhm. I got to see Sting at the first, Forbidden Door where he and Darby and Shingo and who was it? No, it was just him, Darby, and Shingo because Hiromu got the flu.
Right.
Him, Darby, Shingo against Bullet Club, which was the Bucks and El Phantasmo. So that was when Sting had jumped off the tunnel and landed on all of them.
Yes. Uh-huh.
That shit
Yeah.
was so cool.
God, I can't believe it was
So
only 3
cool.
years in AEW.
Yeah.
That is so crazy to me. 3 years. That's 3 years of his goddamn life.
Yeah. That shit was awesome. And
Yep.
then getting to see him in the I think I saw him a second time before Dynamite, but I can't remember where that was. Im I don't think it was any of the Double or Nothings I went to. No, it was just the 'cause, yeah, it was just Darby versus Kyle at Double or Nothing 2022, then it was Forbidden Door, saw him then. Did I see him at Dynamite 2023? I don't think so. So, I guess it was just the 2 times, but those 2 times were phenomenal. Thank you, Stinger.
Mhm. Thank you, Sting. We love you. We hope you
We
enjoy
love
your
you,
time,
Sting.
your retirement. Go
Yeah,
on cruises.
you deserve it, sir.
Spend some time with the fam.
Mhm.
Okay. So,
Alright. Shall we
up next.
move on to so,
Yes.
yeah, we've got AEW Dynamite post I was gonna say Forbidden Door. I talked about it too much. We got Dynamite post Revolution, March 6th.
The
So we have
season premiere.
the season premiere. So we have Hangman gone, Swerve in the ring, championship-less. Yeah,
I'm
at
crying as you
somewhere
continue.
along the way, I just kind of I expect Hangman to not be there, mostly because I know if he's out, it's because he's injured or he wants to spend time with his family, and I'm like, "Okay, fine, I'll accept that. I'll eat that." I've had a lot of my elite gone in the past 2, 3 years, so we get used to it, don't we?
No, I don't.
No, you don't.
I don't. I don't worry about the mother fools.
I know, that's my job.
Yeah, that's your job. When
Yep.
Hangman's gone, I'm sad.
I
Okay,
do miss him, of course, I wanna see him, but it's like, I just take the L. It's
full
like,
disclosure.
I'll live with it.
Look, if he's fine, if he's okay, if he just wants to spend time with his family, I'm so cool with it. Like, I'm so cool, so normal about it. I'm fine. I'm not mad. Don't say that I was mad. But I do miss him.
We do
But
miss the cowboy.
I also understand that there's a lot of new blood coming in. So it's important for them to have their time on television. And the only way that you can do that is by taking other people off television. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Chris Jericho, get the fuck off my TV!
Chris Jericho, you get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck on. Leave. We don't want you here. Get off the I don't want to see you. Jesus, why are you here? Bro, Sting retired. Take the fucking hint.
Young Bucks.
Leave.
Young Bucks. Young Bucks. I don't
Young
want you
Bucks, I
back in
need
the
you.
I don't need you back in the Jericho hole, but please, just get this
Young
man
Bucks,
off
I'm
my
sorry. You
television.
have to kill this guy.
You said you were gonna kill the legends. Do it. Do it now
You have to. You have to.
for me, please.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I do understand other people being off television. I'm upset Hangman is one of them, but it makes sense. You need time for other people. I get it. Fine. It's not that I'm not enjoying myself. I would just
You
enjoy
just missed the
myself
favorite.
more. Yeah, he's my favorite. He's the Blorbo. We all know this.
He's
Yeah,
everything.
he's everything. He's right there behind me. I'm hugging him literally as we speak in this little picture.
I love that. I love that there. I've gotta get mine framed, but I don't know how to change the perspective of it. I'll figure it out. Anyway,
Anyway,
so yep, Hangman is gone. Swerve is championshipless in the ring, and he cuts a mean fucking promo. Um, it's a little bit facey, which I
Mm-hmm.
think is kind of in line for where his character has been going for the past month, month and a
Oh,
half.
hold on. Something we didn't mention because we're so Hangman centric.
Mhm.
He did not take Nana's crown during Revolution.
He did not. You're right. You're right.
Nana gave him the chance to use the Burger King ass crown, and he didn't take it, which is a
Mhm.
mirror of what Hangman chose to do, which was definitely use the fucking title to hurt him. Swerve
Use
made
the
the
title with
choice
yep.
to not hurt Hangman.
Yeah. He decided, "No, this is my championship shot. I'm gonna win this one clean." And Hangman
Exactly.
was like, "This is my championship shot. I'm not throwing away this opportunity again. I'm going to beat the shit out of this guy."
It's like it's like a little piece of them just you know what I'm saying?
Shifted.
Yeah. So like when Hangman drank Swerve's blood and you know I don't think Swerve drank his blood, but he probably should have done it because then this would work better. But like
Like,
they
I kind of
they both
think
have a
it's
piece of
kind
each
of
other.
like Swerve, Swerve said this in one of his interviews. He said Hangman was like, purified water, and Swerve just poured iodine in it. And it's like, yeah, that's exactly what happened. 'Cause, like, I like to think of it as Swerve lost a bit of his ruthlessness, having his blood taken
Yes.
from him, and by Hangman drinking the blood, he gained that ruthlessness. So
Yeah.
they're kind of you're just kind of slowly watching the effects of all of that happen.
Oh, I brought this point up on Twitter today because I was listening to the I'm anxious, I'm depressed, I'm angry promo or whatever. The medicine is not working promo, right? And I was listening to the first part where uh Hangman is trying to understand what Mox thinks of him because Mox has said on more than one occasion he thinks he's a child, like he thinks he's a kid. He called him kid, right? The promo before and stuff like that. And Hangman's like, "So let me get this straight. Like you think this of me?" And Mox is like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I think of you. I think you're a child. And I don't think you have what it takes in you to pull the trigger." And it makes me insane because everything from that point on, Hangman has done everything he can possibly do, and he has pulled the trigger on Swerve. Like he ever since he hanged Moxley, he has shown a more ruthless side to him, to himself. You know, he has just continued along that path. Kenny started it, but it's like every single big feud that Hangman has had has dropped him further and further into the abyss until he ended up with Swerve right there in the depths, you know? It's just crazy.
Had enough of this guy. He's too good at this. He's gotta be, like I was gonna say toned down, but I'm like, I don't want that actually. I wanna see
I
you get
don't.
worse.
Yes. That's me clapping.
Yeah. So
So you
then
were saying that Swerve was being more vulnerable, is what you were saying.
yes, I can't for the life of me remember what he actually said, and I haven't really had time to go back and watch it. I'm doing a lot
Um,
in my personal life. It's a lot of shit. Um, so then I remember Swerve being quite facey with what he was saying, just kind of like not showing remorse, but showing understanding for the feelings of Hangman Adam Page for what
yeah,
he has done to him.
he said something like he was questioning himself is what he did.
Yeah.
He was posing hypothetical questions like maybe I did go too far. Maybe I understand. Like maybe I shouldn't have done those things. He didn't admit or show remorse, but he did question himself. And I think that's an important part of the process to becoming an actual baby face. The first thing that
Yep.
that always happens, the hesitation is always important. It's like what I said before on Twitter about Hangman and his hesitation, which I fucking love him. He took that and he said, "Yes, this time I won't hesitate." And he took it and he did it. But Swerve had switched roles with him and he has become now the person who hesitates, the person who will think twice now about his actions. It's no longer just, yeah, I'm going to do this because I have to. It's, should I do this? Is this the right thing to do? And it's so good. Like, just keep doing that, buddy. Just keep doing that. We will get you into the high honor part of the ranking system. Right now, you're still a little bit on the side of low honor, but you're slowly, like, each little hesitation, each choice to not be bad will take you this way. High honor. You'll get
Yeah.
there eventually. You will be redeemed at some point.
That's a threat. Yeah. So then, yeah, after or in the middle of this promo from Swerve, we get Joe coming back out to gloat that he is still champion.
Mm-hmm.
We get some good back and forth between the two, and then wi in a kind of it was good for me because I got to see Wardlow again, but the rest of it was quite lukewarm at best. The Undisputed Kingdom comes out. It's always nice to see Adam, it's always nice to see Roddy, it's always nice to see Wardlow. I don't particularly care about the other 2. Um, so they come out, and it's just kind of it's a long-winded segment that lasts a little too long with a little too little being said until it eventually comes to a conclusion of how about Swerve and Joe team up to face the Kingdom? Uh, Taven and Matt Taven and what's the other one's name?
Mike Bennett.
Matt Bennett. That's it.
Mike.
Mike
Mike Bennett.
Bennett. Mike Bennett. Heard it as soon as I said it. So Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. Um, so then they propose next week for Joe and Swerve to fight them. Swerve busts out the old, I'm here, you're here, let's do this right now. It was a very 2010 WWE segment, but
Bro, that shit was a
shit happens.
2024 WWE segment. What the fuck are you talking about? They're still doing that shit. They were doing that shit in 2019. I know they're still doing it now.
Oh, you're right. I just like to I take it back to when stuff, like, started, really, because, like, I know they're still doing that same goddamn formula of beginning promo at a promo at the beginning of the show, sets up the main event or the very next match, then
The
they move
the,
on
the
to another
match. The
promo.
first match. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
so much.
I I was happy, like you said, I was happy to see Adam Cole. Was it long-winded? Yes. Did it make no fucking sense? Yes. Was I happy that they established Swerve by setting him up as the babyface winner of this match? Yes. I do think it was
Yeah,
important that in the what they were calling the season premiere of this brand new Dynamite with the brand new logo, with the brand new graphics, with the brand new set, with the tunnels back, that they established Swerve as someone who needs to be cheered, who is going to be a main player moving forward. I think that was important. Do I
Fair
necessarily
analysis.
like do I necessarily like that it was WWE light? No. But I I will let it go. I will excuse it because they have not done that since. And it's been what? One episode since then? At least it hasn't created
Uh,
a coincidental pattern yet. As long
yeah,
as
it's
they
about
don't
to
keep
be
doing it.
2 weeks. Yeah, they
As
do
long as
it like
yeah.
incrementally.
Yeah. As long as they don't do this all the time, I'm good with it. Because WWE
Yeah,
does this shit like all the time. All the time.
that's their bread and butter, my man.
I'm saying. So I'm happy. I'm okay with it. I
Yep.
will let it slide.
Yeah. And so, also from cutting that promo, they describe that because Swerve has now lost his number one contendership, Wardlow is the next number one contender.
Ew.
So he
Sorry.
was facing, don't you fucking give me that look. Don't you fucking give me that look. Leave me alone. So, yeah, Swerve's out of the number one contendership because he lost his match. It will be Samoa Joe versus son of a bitch. Samoa Joe versus Wardlow at AEW Big Business next week. And then they jump into Swerve and Joe versus the Kingdom, to which I believe Swerve and Joe win, right?
Yes. Swerve gets the pin.
Yes. Nice. Yeah, I kind of checked out entirely and I didn't actually pay attention to that match because that promo was just way too long.
Yep.
And then I want to say it was like the very next segment, which was like a very needed shot of adrenaline into the arm. We have our
Hell yeah.
esteemed EVPs coming out to the ring to speak with Tony Schiavone.
No. This happens first. They have the backstage little segment
That's
first.
right, because they said, "We have a big announcement." They hit the Tony Khan. They said, "We have a big announcement, and it's better made in the ring."
Yeah. So then they
Emmy's
immediately go
doing
to
the
the ring.
face, and then they immediately go to the ring. So, as they are speaking, Nicholas kicks Tony Schiavone out of the ring in a fit of rage.
Because he's a bit of a
Matthew
hothead.
decides to take the more corporate, likable boss approach. And okay, let me just say this real quick. I've been working in corporate for about 2 or 3 years now. Matt Jackson is killing it as a shitty boss who acts like he's your friend. He's so good. He's so good at the language. He's so good at the mannerisms. He's so good at it. And I'm like, "Where
So
did you
good.
learn that? Because last time I checked, you never had a corporate job in your life."
All bosses are like that now, dude.
That's true. That's true. He probably learned it from a promoter, honestly, because that's something a promoter could definitely do.
Homie, you know this guy is just channeling Tony Khan.
I don't think Tony has enough experience in corporate for that,
But like I
but
definitely
probably.
think
He's
okay,
definitely channeling a lot of Tony Khan, but, like, the
you know how they do
language.
the listen, you know how they do the little Instagram videos with the little AEW shirt microphone that every like and they ask the people in the back of the locker room questions?
Mhm.
I definitely think that at some point Matt asked the cameramen and the producers to do one that's like, I need you to talk to the AEW locker room because I know everybody's had a shitty job that they had to work on the indies while they also work the indies. And I need you to ask them, what was your worst boss like? And
Yes.
then like that's just a video that we haven't that has never seen the light of day for like the public, but I know that it exists out there specifically for Matthew Jackson because he commissioned it from the camera crew.
You're actually probably correct. He
I
just
believe that.
he crowdsourced his information.
Yes. And also, like, we forget that they worked the indies for like years, so they definitely did stuff that wasn't like wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, like didn't he paint houses for his dad before or something? Like they
Yeah,
had jobs. They had jobs.
it did,
So
yeah.
they kind of know.
I don't know. I don't remember what Nick was doing. But yeah, Matt was definitely painting houses. Oh, Dana had a corporate job.
Yeah, so Dana knows.
Yeah.
He, Mrs. Massey, she knows.
All the people they went to create these characters, thank you so much.
They're perfect.
Because these are, oh my God, it's like the perfect next step to like the Young Bucks' to like their whole gimmick. It makes so much sense to take it in this direction.
They also probably watch Succession because everybody says that the theme is Succession based. Like it's very
Hmm.
similar to the Succession theme.
I have actually never watched that show, so I can't comment on that, but I will take your word for it because I believe you.
Yeah. And also apparently Roman's theme was also Succession based. So when my first thought was it sounds like Roman's theme, like it's similar concept. I was also right. I just want to point that out for everybody who
Mm.
yelled at me for not knowing about Succession. And I say
Yeah.
yelled very loosely. Nobody ever yells at me. I I'm just sensitive.
Aw.
Anyway, so
Yeah, people yell at me. I know what I did though.
so what did they have to say? What did they have to say?
So when they actually get on the mic, without Tony Schiavone in the ring with them, they decide to stand in the middle of the ring and look directly into the camera and say, "As the bosses, we have to make the hard decisions. So, Kenny Omega, you are fired from the Elite. You haven't shown up in like 2 months, and you haven't shown up in like 3 months. We can't just let
Without
that
any
slide
reason.
without
Like
any
without
reason."
any reason. Dude, as soon as they said Kenny Omega, you're fired, I was like, oh my fucking god, this is how Okada gets in the elite.
This is
Oh
how we
my
win.
fucking god. This is how we win.
Yep.
I was
So
so ready.
then
I was like, Okada, show up. I need you now.
yep. They then proceed to say, "And Hangman, you have been suspended from the Elite without pay. We're sorry, buddy, but it has to be this way."
Yeah, it's like we can't be seen to like show favoritism.
God. I hate it. I hate them so much. They're so
Hangmat
awful.
lives. Hangmat lives. He's like, I'm so
Hangman will
sorry I
never
had to do
die,
this to you.
first and foremost.
What? Okay, whatever. Fucking Hangmat girl. Okay.
It's not my fault they act like that.
You're so.
Gnawing at the iron bars of my enclosure.
I love that Hangman just got suspended, but Kenny's like fired and out of the
It's
elite.
like, "Get this guy out of here." Hey, you know what? Kenny deserves to be fired for what he's done. Get him out of here.
You know what? After all the bullshit
Like all the
that
clownery
everybody
that
had
you've
to,
been up to, get this guy out of here.
you know what? He deserves it after siding with Chris Jericho.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're lucky they stopped at firing you. Like,
They should have put a hit out on you. That's what they should have done.
you know what? They should have killed you. You know what? They should go get their baseball bats. No, I'm kidding.
Bust some fucking kneecaps. And Kenny's like, Guys, I did almost die. So,
And they're like, "What? Hmm?
Jesus Christ,
Sorry."
don't remind me.
Yeah. So then, post the restructuring of the elite, we
Right.
get Eddie Kingston coming out to the ring, interrupting our EVPs, and I can't remember, did it have to do with Sting that he was fighting
Yes.
them?
So
Yeah,
so, he said something on Collision. It was both him and Adam Copeland, like, the same Collision said, "Hey, we don't like what you did to Sting, bro. That's fucked up. Just letting you know."
yep, that's what it was.
EVPs, like, called out Matt and Nick, both of them. And then there was a moment, was it during Revolution that was backstage where, Eddie is, like, not wearing, like, the proper clothing, and Matt says something about, "Hey, we heard what you had to say about us when it comes to Sting. And also, I just wanted to let you know, you need to fix your you're out of dress code, basically. Like you need to fix this. Like put
I
a suit
think that
on
was
or a
on one of
tie
the
or something."
Dynamites. Yes, 'cause I do remember that. I think that was on one of the Dynamites
It might have been the Dynamite
instead of the
after they
Revolution.
beat the shit out of
'Cause Eddie's backstage Revolution was with Bryan Danielson.
ah
'Cause it was one of the Dynamites where, uh, Matt and Nick showed up, like, kinda late, and
mhm.
then they just, um like, they showed up kinda late, and then they just kinda were, like, meandering around bothering people,
Yes.
and then they came to Eddie Kingston, and they're like, "Hey, heard what you
Wait,
had
they
to
were
say about us on
looking for
Collision."
Sting. It
That's
was
right.
the one where they were looking for Sting. Yeah, it was the Go Home show. The Go Home show, they were looking for Sting, and it was where we had that awesome little parallel mirrored image of Hangman. Remember when Hangman got kicked out of the Elite by Matt and Nick, and
You know I do.
he's in that in the bar with the red and the mirror, and then you see Matthew and Nick also in the Nicholas also in Sting's dressing room, which is lit up red. So it's got that same vibe to it with the mirror. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So at some point during that night is when they catch Eddie and they're like, "We heard what you had to say about us." And not cool,
They're such
man.
mean
Also
girls.
also you're out of dress code. So suit up, put on a tie. And
Okay, Regina
that's
George.
yeah, so then obviously Eddie has to say something back. So
Yep, and
during
him
this segment he interrupts.
I remember him also going up to them and he's saying, "Yeah, I'm also in sweats and Timbs. Yeah, suck it," essentially.
Yeah, I think that's how he started the conversation. Yeah.
Yep. And then Matthew was like, "There's no need to be nasty," and he puts his arm around Eddie and he's trying to like, cause Nicholas is just irate immediately, and he's like
Bit of a
yelling
hothead.
at Eddie, he's ready to fight. I fucking love this. I can't get
Bit of
enough
a
of this.
hothead.
It's so much fun. And so right when Eddie is about to Eddie pushes Matt and then he starts like going up against Nick and then we hear the fucking coin drop. We hear the goddamn coin drop. We got Big Kazu in the building. We got Big
Big
Kazuchika in the building.
Kazuchika! Big Kazuchika! Yes! And he kept his theme!
I'm like, I want to tell you about how I reacted to this. This is a
Oh, I
very
screamed.
niche this is a very niche video that I don't think a lot of people have seen. I remember when the Game of Thrones finale, the series finale happened, WWE recorded Seth Rollins, Kofi Kingston, and Claudio Castagnoli watching it. The way that those 3 reacted to watching the end of the finale episode was the way that I reacted when I heard the coin drop. I was like, "Ugh, hold on, wait, hold on, is this happening? Is this real?" And then Kazu comes out and I'm like, "Holy shit." And I'm like, he would just come out on a random Dynamite instead of a pay-per-view or on Big Business. He would just do that. And then when I saw him in a suit, I was like, okay, there's no human possible way he's siding with Eddie Kingston.
I knew it already. He was wearing the suit. It's like, this is my dream. This is what I've wanted. I wanted Okada to come in as a goofy, like, goofy EVP motherfucker that would he is the gimmick. He is it.
Oh, yeah.
like, like, Matthew and Nicholas can be very goofy while still being just terrible, conniving villains. I knew he could do it. I knew it.
Yeah. He's like,
Like,
if they are not gonna have Kenny and they're not gonna have Hangman, Kazuchika Okada is hands down the
perfect.
best, like, third for the Young Bucks because he matches their energy so well.
Yes. Like, he will literally just be there and just, and it's
That
like,
big ass smile. Just being an
yes,
asshole.
yes. I love his goofy grin. It's so good. It's perfect.
He is such a the thing about Okada is that he's a bitch.
I know.
Kazuchika Okada is a bitch, and I like him so much.
Much.
Yeah. So
I
then
love
he
him.
comes out, he starts to side with Eddie for, like, a split second, as if
He,
he's
like,
going
picks
to
him up,
fight the
right?
Young Bucks. Like, let's be so fucking for real here for a second. And then he immediately turns around, gets Eddie in the Rainmaker, levels him, and he hits the Okada pose.
He pulls off the tie. And I don't know why people were so weird about this, him pulling off the tie. I was like, how does that not make sense? They're like, because they were like, so when he's a baby face, he's wearing the tie, but when he's heel, he takes it off. I'm like, how do you not get that? He's sexy now. That's how heels
My
are.
brother,
Heels are
he's hot.
sexy. He's hot. What are you talking about? And then he pulls the Okada pose. He found the hard cam. All these motherfuckers talking about he needs to learn how to find the hard cam. Shut the fuck up. Are you for real?
It's in a different place in every arena he's in New Japan. Leave him alone.
Motherfucker found the hard cam. He knows where that bitch is, okay? He's the king of the hard cam. I don't want to hear it. Okay?
He is the hard
It's
cam.
motherfuckers are the forbidden door. Motherfuckers are the feeling. Motherfuckers are the hard cam. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
It was so good. Oh, I screamed. I screamed bloody murder. It was so good.
I was so happy. I was
I'm
like, this
so
is
happy he's here.
we officially have we officially have the feeling back. We are officially
Stacked.
so back. We have never been more
Fucking
back.
stacked.
We have never
Stacked.
been this back before in our lives.
And and you know what? It's sans Kenny Omega, sans Hangman Page. Imagine when they come back. Like, are you fucking kidding me? God mode. Roman Reigns can never. Okay? That's all I
We're
gotta
talking
say.
about goats here. Go ahead and keep him out of your mouth, please.
I
We're
said
discussing real
God
graps right
mode.
now. I said I said we're discussing real graps here. Let's go ahead and keep him out of our mouths. Let's keep it to the professionals, please. For legal reasons, that was a joke.
Guys, please. Me and Madge love Roman. We can
We
make
do.
jokes. I know
Yeah,
we love
poster
Roman
of him
more
on
than
my wall.
Cody.
Yeah, of course. What kind of question is that?
It wasn't a question, first of
Imagine
all. It was a statement.
I I know, I know.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know it was a statement.
I'm sorry, my cheeks hurt. This is fun.
Yeah. We haven't done this in a while. We're getting back in the groove and we're having fun.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I honestly, after that, I kinda blacked out, and that's the last thing I remember from Dynamite. So, like,
That's all
if
you
you
need to know.
remember anything else, we can talk about it, but, like, Big Kazu is here. He's all elite. That's the only thing that matters to me.
Dude, that's all I could remember after that. Me too. You want to talk about the next one? Last week? You want
Um,
to talk about last week?
yeah, so basically so I live in Mountain Standard Time, right? So that
Mm-hmm.
means everybody else moves for daylight savings time besides me. So for the last ever since,
Oh.
like, November or September, whenever daylight savings starts, I've been an hour behind everybody. So I thought Dynamite, because it has been, started at 6 last week. Apparently, daylight savings ended and no one told me, so I had to go on TikTok at 5:30 and see that one Mercedes Monet debuted on Dynamite at Big Business, and I was like, "What do you mean it already started?" So, I
Okay,
missed
so
30 minutes of the show. I missed essentially half of the show, and I missed Mercedes's entrance, I missed her promo, so I've gotta go back and rewatch, like I wanna rewatch the whole episode at some point because, like, I was so focused, I was so upset that I missed Mercedes and I missed Wardlow, and then, like, I just don't remember anything else besides, Kazuchika and the Young Bucks versus Penta, Pac, and Eddie, which was a fantastic match, by the way.
it was good. So the way that it started was very odd. Um, I don't know if it was because the feed, my fight feed, started late or what, but there was no entrance opener. Um, because they debuted a new theme the week before, right, for the season premiere, and then the next week, Big Business, I didn't hear the theme. So, but it's like cut immediately to Renee. They show the crowd. They show the dynamite, the pyro or whatever, and the big old crowd in the arena. And Renee is talking about what's gonna happen on Dynamite. And immediately after that, they cut to the back where a limo or some sort of nice, big car is coming up and the door opens. But you can't see who's inside. They don't show their feet, right? You know how they did freaking Ric Flair that one time, and I thought it was Matt Jackson, but it wasn't. uh, and so they cut from that limo shot and they cut away back to the arena, and I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna make me wait. They just did the WWE limo spot. Now I have to wait to see who it is, and but immediately cuts to her music. And it starts off because it's new music. It's not the one she had in New Japan, and it's obviously not her WWE music. But it's classically themed, and
It's,
it's the same
Symphony
theme
number
that
9?
not Wardlow,
Walter.
uh, Walter slash Gunther uses for Imperium. You know, it's like a remix of it. It's a little bit faster. It's not like his, and then it brings in like the other beats, and then you start to hear the CEO chants. But everybody immediately, as soon as they put Mercedes up on the screen, and then CEO, they started chanting that shit and they freaking popped for her, man. Like I saw the social media videos of like the close up of the tunnel as soon as she walks out, and the pop is just like holy shit, like it is so good. It made me so happy, like just shivers. Like I started crying as soon as I saw her face. It was beautiful. It was so good. I'm glad that that's the reception that she got, that everybody knew who she was. I'm glad it was in Boston because obviously they better know who she is. Hometown girl, you know? It was really nice. And my only wish is that she will come out with a version of her theme where there's no CEO chants. That way I can actually hear the crowd and be certain the crowd is the ones chanting CEO. Like for the first time that she debuts the song, absolutely it should have had the CEO chants. That way the crowd knows to chant CEO, right? But
Yeah.
like I feel like the next time should not have it so we can hear the crowd do it,
Yeah.
you know? Like that would be
I
really
feel
fun.
like I feel like it's probably gonna turn into like you know how like with Chris Jericho's theme, everybody's singing it, and then once it cuts off, everyone keeps singing it. It'll
Mm.
if they decide to keep the chants in the theme, it'll probably be like once the music is cut off, people are still gonna be chanting.
Yes. And I do believe they did that when she got into the ring, you know, started talking and stuff like that. The the aura that this woman exudes is out of this world. She came out like an anime villain. I know she's a babyface right now because clearly everybody's happy to see her and will be happy to see her for a long time. But that is anime villain behavior. And I know that woman knows about anime villains. Like,
Oh, yeah.
let's be real. Homie was at the Crunchyroll Awards with
Megan Thee Stallion,
Megan. Yeah, user Megan. So I know she knows.
Miss Bruno Bruciati.
And the first, like my first actual thought when I saw all of her and her aura, I was like, "Damn, she's trying to take Kenny Omega's spot." Is what she's trying to do.
She is, though. Like,
And you know what?
they're kinda
I think I'm gonna
notorious
let
for
her.
having I
I'm gonna let her.
I mean, I
I think it's time for these men to take a back seat. You feel me?
Sorry, Kenny, you've been replaced. You've been fired and replaced.
By two people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. I need to see her with the Young Bucks.
That would be the greatest thing I'd ever see in my life. Because they are roughly the same character. Roughly. They're very adjacent to each other.
The only like worry I have of that, especially if it's backstage and they like do a little handshake, is that everybody's gonna be like, "It's just like Triple H with Jade Cargill," and it's like,
First of all, fuck no.
first of all, bitch, they're so much better. Okay? Not to say that Jade isn't. I love you, Jade. I wish you the best. I'm so happy that you're making money without even wrestling. I'm so happy for you. Get that bag, girl. But still, come
Like, if we're gonna compare, it's setting Jade up for failure.
on. And Triple H.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. But I need that so bad. Like you know, EVP, CEO. Come on now. Come on now.
It's a
Or my
match
life,
made. Come on.
or my lifelong dream of the two most butterfly coated women in all of wrestling history. Mercedes and Hangman? I need that so bad.
Make it happen.
I need it so bad. But anyway, she was very genuine. I think
I haven't
you were
heard her
saying.
speak yet. I haven't slowed down at all to just enjoy anything.
I know. Sorry. I know you've been busy.
Yeah.
But if you do get the chance, she was very overwhelmed. She was very happy. You could see it in her face. Like, and before anybody starts with like her promo, like I already saw people comparing her promo to CM Punk's promo and how his fucking promo cleared her. And I'm just like, I need you to understand that we all are aware that Mercedes has never been a great promo. I know this. I've
Really?
watched her. She's not been that great.
She's not
I've never.
outstanding. She's not bad, but it's like
That's what I'm.
it's
She's not bad, but she's not great.
yeah,
But
and that's
I
okay.
think, yeah, that's okay. Like, I wasn't expecting a CM Punk promo from her because she's not CM Punk. And I know that CM Punk can talk a motherfucker's ear off. Okay. And
Yeah. Everybody can't be
that's,
Eddie Kingston.
that's his, that is CM Punk's, like, wheelhouse. And that's fine. And I understand that. He's
At
also a
this point,
fucking
it's his
liar,
only strength.
but it's his only strength. So Mercedes' strength is in the ring. And I have no doubt that in the because they've already announced her to go on Wednesday, 2 days from now. It said we'll hear from Mercedes Monet. So we're gonna hear from her again. And I have no doubt that much like Jack Perry has been improving in his promos over there in New Japan, that Mercedes will also get better. She will improve because they're gonna give her the
I,
time to do it.
mhm. And I would also like to point out this is honestly like the first time she's ever been given a massive audience and no script.
Exactly.
So we're
Like,
gonna watch her evolve into having her own cadence, into having her own way with words because she gets to come up with everything herself now.
exactly. So give her a shot. Let her let her try, you know?
Let her cook.
Let her cook. And you know what? Even if she's not that great a promo, I know she can go in the ring. I know she can go in the ring. That
Oh yeah.
woman is relentless in the ring. Okay?
That bitch will wrestle.
She will she will single-handedly raise the bar of the women's division just by being there.
I think she already
It's
has.
true. She already has. Because did you see that Willow and Riho match?
Yes.
Holy
Oh
shit.
my god. That was good fucking shit. That was amazing. That was so good.
Yeah, they were like, I need to show up and show out.
It's like
Because
Mercedes is here. Miss Main Event at WrestleMania is here now. It's time for me to step up.
exactly. And I think that's important. I think that kind of competition is important. Especially
Yes.
if in
Yes.
a place where everything's already predetermined, it's very important to feel the spirit of competition, you know?
Yeah.
But like in a good vibes way, which is what we've been feeling lately, and I'm really happy about it.
Me too.
Yeah,
I hope this momentum just keeps multiplying.
yeah, me too. Um, if I can think of anything else that happened that okay, guys, Will Ospreay's growing on me.
Well, that makes one of us.
I'm trying really hard.
I remember
I'm just gonna
I
go ahead.
remember the tweet from Sarah uh at Waffly Bollocks, and she was like, "You guys not understanding Will Ospreay is a bit, right?" And I replied back, "Not in the slightest. I don't know what he's saying." It's like, I don't know what he's trying to tell me. It's worse when it's in person. Because I remember when he was announced as All
Oh,
Elite for, at Full Gear, and he was on the mic then, brother, I don't know what he said.
bro. Bruv, I don't understand a word you said.
It's like he needs
Dude, okay, but
subtitles.
okay, but let's be real. Let's be real for a second. I have never understood a promo that happened in the ring when I'm there live. I'm just gonna be real with you, brother. I am not
Fair.
paying attention.
I
Like, I could
can
bear I think the only people I've ever really understood when they're out there doing a promo are Joe and Sting.
I've understood Ricky, I've understood the Bucks, and
All I get from
who
Ricky
else?
when I'm there live is vibes.
That's fair. He's very good at vibes.
He started
Um,
screaming that one time when we were there, and I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah!" I started screaming, and I'm like, "I
let's
don't know what you're
go.
saying, but yes, let's go." I was a Ricky fan for like 15 seconds,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah,
trying
I can
to
understand not understanding Will Ospreay live. I understand that,
and he was, like, excited too, so he wasn't speaking clearly, and I was like,
right?
"Jesus fucking Christ, bro. I need you enunciate, please. What are you saying to me?"
I don't know,
Yeah,
bro.
it's crazy. Yeah. He's going against Danielson, what is that, this Dynamite?
No, April 21st, Dynasty.
Ah, oh my god, I forgot about that pay-per-view, Dynasty. I kinda hate that they're doing the pay-per-view every single month bit.
Technically, it's 6 weeks.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've been stealing my pay-per-views, so I haven't actually been paying $50 for all of these, but it's like, if I wanna watch them back, I'm gonna have to, which isn't very nice. That's a lot of pay-per-views to buy.
Oh, someone showed me that on Fight, it's showing a combo package deal for the next three pay-per-views. So Dynasty, Double or Nothing, and Forbidden Door can be bought for $50.
Hmm,
So
well,
it's like $3 or $4 off of the regular Fight price for one pay-per-view. Something like that.
nice. I've gotta I don't know if I'm gonna do the VPN thing. I have so many subscriptions already. I might though. I don't know. I'll have to look into the best one and, like, see what their monthly is.
But yeah, I'm starting to like Will Ospreay. Oh well. I
Happens to the
just
best of us.
the himbo act is just great. Sorry.
Yeah. I just c be mainly because I can't fucking get what he's saying. I just kinda tune out his promos because it's like, it's just brain stress trying to decipher what he's trying to tell me.
So it's not a bit for you, but it's a bit. I mean, I understand what he's saying. Just to put that out there, I do understand what he's saying. Would I understand it live? Probably not. But I do understand what he is saying on TV. I understand him perfectly fine. Now, I was listening to the post Revolution Scrum, and he was on it. I didn't understand half the shit he was saying, and that's because he was rambling. Like he's just slurring his
Yeah.
words.
The adrenaline, he's not enunciating, he's just
Yeah.
rolling off the tongue, and it's like, "Bro, hold on." Like, sometimes yeah, sometimes I can't understand Drew McIntyre when he's excited. It's like, "You hold on, man. You gotta slow down." It's like, sometimes some of these accents are just difficult.
Dude, I had coworkers in Georgia who were from Mississippi, and dude, I would literally ask them to repeat themselves like every other sentence because they talk fast. They talk so fast. It's just like, what the fuck are you saying to me right now? Please slow down. And they also use a bunch of like country slang that I don't know. So it's
Yeah.
like,
That's also what trips me up about Osprey, is all the British slang that I don't get. So not only is
Yeah,
your accent heavy, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what that
yeah,
means.
yeah. I'm constantly like having to look up slang is the worst part of getting old.
Yeah, there's some stuff going around, like, I hear it on TikTok, and I'm like, "Now what the fuck could that possibly mean?" And
Bro.
it's like, I'm not old. I'm
Bro,
still
I
quite
just
young,
found
and
out what
everyone
gooning means.
I still don't know what gooning means. I have a vague sense of the word. I think I know, but I'm not gonna look it up. I'm gonna go my whole life without knowing the concrete definition, and I'm gonna like it.
Look, man, I cannot explain it to you, but I now understand it when people say it. That's all I can say. But I'm just like,
Yeah.
why are you using this word this way? This is not
Why?
goon. Goons are henchmen from Batman. What are you doing?
Goons are the
Why are you
people that
using it in
superheroes beat up.
why are you using it in a sexual context right
Why
now?
are you bastardizing my henchmen? Why are you
Exactly.
bastardizing my superhero fodder?
Exactly. It's the worst.
Kids these
I hate
days.
looking up slang. Jesus. Anyway, what else happened? I think that was it. Probably more
I think
things
we've
that
covered pretty much everything.
everything that was good.
Oh,
Um
do I just wanted to say Kyle O'Reilly is back, and that's everything to me.
Oh my god, I forgot. Jeez. Bro, dude, I saw his face.
Oh my god.
His big
Oh
old
my
eye
god.
bags.
Oh my god.
The most
Yeah.
pathetic meow meow that you have ever seen in your entire life.
The sweetest little thing, you just wanna wrap in a blanket and hope nothing bad ever happens to him ever again.
You know what's
His
crazy is I knew
big,
he was coming.
bad
I felt
hmm?
it. I knew he was coming. I felt it. I saw him
I
in the
was
corner of my eye in that hard cam shot. I knew he was coming. I was waiting on it.
I wanted him to, like, I wanted him to come back, but I was like, "I don't know if it's too soon or not, so I'm not gonna get my hopes up." And then he was there, and then we got him. Oh my
So
god.
nice. It was so nice to
And
see him.
then and now we get to hear Roddy scream, "Kyle."
Kyle!
Kyle! It
It's
kind
better than
of it
Samoa.
Yeah, that's true. It was a little funny the first time, and then it's like, "Please stop."
I liked it better when it was just Adam.
The Atom Cinematic Universe.
Yeah. Well, are we done here? That was fun, right? I'm so glad. My cheeks hurt. I'm so happy.
Mhm.
Dude, we need to
This
start
is
doing these like
fun.
weekly so that we don't have to do 3-hour shows.
I mean, okay. I propose that we discuss it on, like, Sundays, what the week looks like, and see if we have any evenings lined up where we can do it weekly.
Mhm.
Because I'm also trying
Fair
to
enough.
implement weekly FaceTimes with my friends who are all out of different states right now.
Fair enough. The thing is also that you know how little I care when Hangman's not here?
Yeah, that's another thing. We'll be busting out 30-minute episodes because it's like, Hangman's not here, bro.
Day 125 of Hangman not being here.
That
I
could,
think that should
honest
be
to
the next
God, be a
bit.
segment.
That
Yeah.
should be the next bit. Just starting off the show and being like, "Well, Hangman wasn't on this one. We're
It's
on Hangman watch. We're on Hangman watch."
like that it's like that person on Twitter who does daily Michael Jackson updates, and it's like, still dead. That's just us with Hangman. Still gone.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If he's gone for a while and we do find the time to do the podcast, it may actually be in our favor for him not to be there. That way we can get used to the shorter, more frequent episodes. You know, like
True.
get us in that groove, get us in the groove so that by the time he does come back, we'll be ready. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Okay. All right. Oh, I need to say one more thing. So I listened to the Tunnel Talk podcast the other day where they sort the AEW roster into the camp houses from Percy Jackson and the Olympians. One of them did put Hangman and Poseidon. So I
Yeah.
won. One of them also put him as Demeter, which I kind of like because he's like this earthly grounded kind of guy. But
Okay.
I will counterpoint that with Poseidon also being lord over the earth. Uh, somebody put Kenny as Zeus.
Oh yeah, brother.
Uh, some of them put Matt and Aphrodite. One
Good,
did
good.
put one did put Matt as Hera, so I was pretty happy about that too.
Oh hell yeah.
Um, and it wasn't it wasn't one of the girls, but somebody in one of our Discord group chats did say that Nicholas should be Athena, should be in the Athena cabin, and I was like, yes, I win. I was very
Vindication.
happy. Indication. I was so happy. Um, those were the ones that stuck out to me, and I was very scared to go through that episode because I was like, please, please please make sure these girls have sense. They had sense. I was happy about it. I was happy.
Yay.
It wasn't as crazy as I thought it would be. I was like, okay, I can accept these choices. Pretty happy about it. All right. All right, that's all I had to say. I'm good now.
Nice.
I'll stop talking.
All right.
It's 12 it's midnight for me.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock at night here. We definitely have to do these weekly, so we just stop doing all of this.
Yeah. I
All
have to
right,
go
I'll
through
go
this.
ahead
I have
now.
to edit.
I know. We're torturing you with this.
I know.
Yeah,
But
you're
hey,
like the
it's fun.
podcast general.
It's fun. It's fun. It's a
It
lot of
is
work,
very
but
fun.
it's fun.
It is very fun to do this with you.
That's why we do it so little because I'm like, I have to edit.
Yeah, but it'll be easier to edit when it's like 45 minutes instead of 3.5 hours.
Exactly.
All right. We hope you enjoyed this latest episode of your Emotional Support Wrestling podcast. You can find us on Twitter at ES Wrestling Pod, on Blue Sky at ES Wrestling Pod, on Tumblr at Emotional Support Wrestling, and please feel free to send us an email at eswrestling@gmail.com. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.
And see.